of the Year. Call of Duty 2, Activision, Infinity Ward. Fear, the Bending Universal Games, Monolith Productions. God of War, Sony Computer Entertainment America. Resident Evil 4, Capcom. World of Warcraft, Blizzard Entertainment.
And the winner is Resident Evil 4.
Accepting on behalf of Resident Evil 4 is producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi.
Congratulations.
カプコンのプロデューサーの小林です。本当に嬉しいです。
My name is Hiroyuki Kobayashi. I'm the producer on this game. This award makes me very happy.
バイオハザードシリーズ10年やってきてこんなに賞をもらえることはなかったんですごく嬉しいです。
I've been working on the Resident Evil series for 10 years, and this is the first award of this kind I've got, so I'm very happy to accept this award.
今日ここの会場に来れなかったバイオハザード4チームのみんな、世界中のバイオ4のファンのみんな、そしてスパイク TV に感謝します。
And so I want to thank all the great people on my staff that made this game, all the fans who have supported the series over the years, and lastly, thank you to Spike TV for putting this show on.
Thank you!
Thank you.
All right, everybody, it's time to end this madness.
Same story. Data done, missing files.
Any survivors?
One of their men.
You see anything? Whoever it was a real pro.
What, a hit?
No. Given the history of this place, revenge.
Joanna. Rated M for mature.
Normally, sequels aren't as good as first editions, but in the case of Resident Evil, the horror genre keeps getting better, bigger, and more terrifying.
Yeah!
Yeah.
In Resident Evil 4, you're Leon Kennedy, a special agent rescuing the president's daughter. The mind-blowing graphics and awesome sound effects bring to life crazed villagers who hunt you down at every turn. This game sets the gold standard for action-adventure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil 4.
Of the Year nominee, Resident Evil 4. Monsters. Lárgate, cabrón. Freeze.
ID verification check clear. One of the
We're going to party, caramba, fiesta, whatever. Come on and sing along all night long. All night long. All night. All night.
Energy meets soda. Introducing Mountain Dew MDX. Be nocturnal.
PSP. It's like a nut you can play with outside.
You can catch the entire Spike TV Video Game Awards 2005, hosted by Samuel L. Jackson directly after this show. You're not going to want to miss the incredible musical performances by Missy Elliott and 50 Cent. Now, let's take another sneak peek at the new games that are sure to be causing a buzz at the VGAs next year.
Action games get a new twist in Prey. Playing as a reluctant Native American hero, you've been abducted to a living spaceship with a mission of rescue and escape. Armed with futuristic weapons, you'll encounter rifts in space-time, which will transport you to different alien environments. Gravity wells on the ship will allow you to walk on walls and ceilings and experience the first-person action genre like never before. Racing Destruction gets 360 next year with full auto. Choose from an insane selection of cars and outfit your wheels with deadly cannons and machine guns. Screw up, take a mulligan and get a do-over with the unique Unwreck feature. The wide variety of vehicles, weapons, and play modes makes full auto a must-have for racing game fans next year. Metal Gear fans unite. The saga of Solid Snake continues in Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot. Details of this highly anticipated game are a well-kept secret, but MGS4 takes place a few years after the end of Metal Gear 2. The game promises to take full advantage of the advanced graphics of the PS3. All mysteries aside, one thing is for sure. Gamers are in store for lots of surprises from master designer Hideo Kojima with Metal Gear Solid 4 in 06. The legacy of magic continues with Final Fantasy XII, the latest installment in the wildly popular role-playing game from Square Enix. Fans of the series will be immersed in a new story involving war, rebellion, and sky pirates. The game features an evolved battle system, and thanks to new AI, the monsters are smarter and harder than ever to kill. The new sound system presented in Dolby Pro Logic, as well as stunning graphics, promise to make this edition the best-looking Final Fantasy ever. Microsoft and the wizards behind Unreal Tournament bring you Gears of War, a sci-fi shooter being developed exclusively for the Xbox 360. Roam a horrifying post-apocalyptic planet with your platoon of outer space commandos and combat horde after horde of nasty aliens. The lifelike visuals make this one of the best-looking games for the next-generation Xbox. Look for Gears of War on Emergence Day next year.
Next up, more After Party.
What, dude? I'm in the mid. No! Coming up tonight on GameHead, we're behind the scenes at the 2005 Spike TV Video Game Awards. You've seen the celebrities, you've seen the music performances. Now it's time for the game developers to get their chance in the spotlight right here on GameHead. We're talking to the winners and the nominees, finding out about their experience at the VGAs. Coming up next, right here on GameHead.
Can you dig it?
Tonight on GameHead, we've got reviews of Need for Speed Most Wanted and Call of Duty 2 for the Xbox 360, plus a preview of Hitman Blood Money. All that and much more on GameHead.
Hey, Sam, GameHeads, what's up?
You're actually a gamer. That's the cool thing, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
What have you been playing lately that you like?
I've always loved video games. I spend a lot of time playing with myself. I've been playing Tiger Woods golf, man. That's what I play on the plane. I have a PSP 2, and I'm trying very hard to master that game. Now I just got to work my swing out and make it all work for me.
Are you excited to meet the game creators?
They're the guys behind the scenes, the guys that nobody ever sees. It's kind of like when I was with George Lucas in the Bahamas, looping, and I was sitting at the table with him having dinner, and these kids came over, and they wanted my autograph, and I'm like, you know who this is? And they're like, no. It's like, so it's a good chance for these guys to be recognized and for people to see them, and hopefully for me to talk to them about getting a job.
Well, thanks. Have fun tonight. Congratulations. Cool. Thanks, Sam. Take care. All right, we're here with Grant from Infinity Ward, the guy behind Call of Duty 2, which I've been loving on the Xbox 360. I finally got it, been playing it. It's been a lot of fun. You're a pretty big man here tonight, Grant. So you think Charlize is going to come up and say, where's my launch copy of Call of Duty 2?
You can always hope.
If Charlize wants a copy, you're going to find one for her, right?
I will make sure that she gets one, I'll tell you. It might not happen tonight, but tomorrow morning she'll have one.
When she wakes up next to you tomorrow morning, there'll be the copy, right, Grant?
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Well, congratulations, Grant. We're going to catch up with you later, see how you did, right? Good luck on those 6 nominations.
Yeah, we'll have a drink, sir.
Works for me, sir. Yeah. Thanks. Grant from Infinity Ward, everybody. One of the longest-running racing series is back with Need for Speed Most Wanted from Electronic Arts, which is out for every platform, including the Xbox 360. The game opens in the city of Rockport when you meet your tube-top-wearing racing buddy, Mia, played by actress Josie Marin. The full-motion video cutscenes are kind of hokey, so it's a good thing that the game quickly jumps into daytime racing with cars like BMWs and Lamborghinis. You tune and customize your car by winning money in races against rivals in the Blacklist, a tally of the most notorious street racers in town. By far the best new feature is how Need for Speed has brought back the cops. They not only chase after you, but also put down roadblocks and spike strips to bring your glory rides to a screeching halt. Personally, I still prefer Burnout for my racing, but if you're a fan of action racing with real licensed cars and great controls, you'll want a Nitro Boost Most Wanted right into your console. David Jaffe, who's nominated for Designer of the Year, Game of the Year for God of War. First of all, David, the Old Navy shirt looks pretty good.
Did you know it was Old Navy? Did I write that?
I read it in the blog, apparently.
Listen, me and my wife went the whole weekend. It's like, finally, Old Navy has what I want.
The Old Navy shirt, is it large or extra large? I know you and your wife had a debate, right?
Well, my wife says to me, because I'm fat, she says to me, she wouldn't say that, but she's like, look, I'm used to wearing really big shirts because I'm overweight. And she's like, look, you don't want to wear a big old shirt because it makes you look fatter. And so I'm wearing a medium from Old Navy. This is Old Navy right here. So
looks pretty good. Dressed by Old Navy, right?
Dressed by Old Navy and my wife. So thank you, hon, if you're watching.
All right, well, we want to catch up with you later, see how you did, David. Thanks for coming by. Good luck tonight. Congratulations. Take care.
Please welcome Kiefer Sutherland.
Are you excited to be at the awards? Doing this?
It's amazing. You've got some fantastic bands playing. And again, the technology of video games is something that really has caught my interest over the last 3 years while making this. So I'm excited to see what else is coming out.
Jack Bauer, I'm a federal agent.
To be able to go in and play every scene 8 different ways, depending on which way the gamer is going to go, was extraordinary. And then to watch the graphics, and even over the last year to watch them change the way they have, you really are seeing the future of films.
So as an actor, is it different? I mean, from acting in the TV show to doing just voiceover for it and seeing kind of your animated self? Did you motion capture your movements and everything?
I tried with everything I could to play the character exactly the way I would play him in the series, except at 8 different volumes in certain situations, whether it's the interrogation sequences. Sometimes they start off slow, sometimes they start off hot. Emotionally, 8 different ways.
It's kind of
creating a lot of options. Well, I'm going to have to learn how to try and save myself in the game.
Well, Kiefer, thanks for coming by. Good seeing you. Coming up, we'll be talking to David Silverman and Frank Pierce, who are both winners of the coveted Golden Monkey, and we'll also take a look at some of the new titles that will have you hunting down Nazis, pistol-whipping thugs, and later we'll be battling head-to-head with a T-Rex. It's all coming up on GameHead from the 2005 VGAs.
As on my way down, I heard God laugh.
Like the deserts of North Africa, where you control a British tank and go up against the German Tiger tank. Where Call of Duty 2 really breaks ground is with its atmosphere. The sound and the great artificial intelligence really bring the battlefield to life. And the spectacular smoke effects actually impact gameplay and help you avoid enemy fire. I personally would have liked to see a bit more in-game storytelling and character development, but otherwise, both the single-player and multiplayer game over Xbox Live deliver non-stop action, making this one of the best World War II games ever created. I told you guys my favorite driving game of the year is Burnout Revenge, and Spike TV proved me right because I'm here with David from EA, hot off the stage, winning the Best Driving Game Award.
Eye the Tiger! Thanks a lot! Oh, yeah, there it is, right there. Pontiac Best Driving Game. Viewer's choice, which really means a lot.
What's in there, though, classified? Nothing.
I think they took it.
I mean, it really just makes us, thrilled, the fact that, the gamers are now, it's opening up to more than just like the really, tuner culture, and it's just explosive, and, everyone's having a great time with it. People love crashing cars, Jeff.
That's right.
People put in Burnout, ends up being like crack. So, except this is the healthy kind. It's the healthy kind.
There's the quote of the night. So tell me, any big moments tonight that stand out in your mind? Any cool celebrity sightings? Any cool celebrity moments?
I gotta say, Kiefer Sutherland, that was pretty cool.
You can finally see for yourself if you can survive 24 hours as Jack Bauer.
Game actually looks pretty cool. I mean, the graphics and stuff. I was impressed.
Yeah, I'm really, I'm interested. I'm definitely excited to see that and live out my fantasy of being Jack Bauer.
Well, congratulations again, David.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Good luck. Can't wait for the next Burnout.
There you go. Thanks.
Rap superstar Curtis 50 Cent Jackson recently stirred debate because he said his new M-rated game Bulletproof is appropriate for children. 50, I'm sorry, but it's time to step out of the candy shop and face the facts. This game might not even be appropriate for hardcore gamers. Where the game succeeds is with its writing by Sopranos scribe Terry Winters and the inclusion of 13 new tracks from 50 Cent in addition to all his hits. Even G-Unit, Dr. Dre, and Eminem pop up in the game for some great cameos. The problem is that the game is incredibly frustrating to play because there's no way to lock onto enemies. As 50 and his G-Unit gang make their way through the city and battle thugs, you'll constantly be irritated by the poorly thought out controls and camera positioning. 50 Cent Bulletproof, which is out for the PS2 and Xbox, is a great collection of 50's music. But as a video game, let's put it this way. Unless you're a huge 50 Cent fan, I'd skip this one.
The winner is World of Warcraft.
I'm standing here with Frank from Blizzard. They are winners of 3 awards tonight. Best multiplayer game, best RPG, and also most addictive game for World of Warcraft, which is an incredible game. Came out late last year, but here's in 2005 it was still eligible. Thank God, right?
Yeah. Fortunately, it's grown in popularity quite dramatically over the last year.
You guys got to go on stage to accept some of these, right?
I did. Very exciting, very exciting. Public speaking is... Yeah.
Yeah, this World of Warcraft game, I mean, how many millions of people are playing it now?
Over 4.5 million worldwide. So
it's a lot of money, isn't it, Frank?
Yeah, it does all right.
I mean, seeing these celebrities, is that a cool thing for you, or do you feel like the industry's kind of like selling out to Hollywood? They shouldn't be doing this, or what's your take on all that?
No, I think it's really cool. I mean, if we're going to gain broader acceptance throughout the culture, we're going to need support from other industries that are already well accepted. So I think it's exciting. I saw Def Leppard. That was damn cool.
They were, but they didn't play Pour Some Sugar on Me. What's up with that?
Actually, I like the song they play. The tune they play is old school.
Old school, I know. I'm a Pour Some Sugar on Me guy, I guess. But we'll agree to disagree on that. But we will agree the World of Warcraft was a deserving winner in those 3 categories. Frank, thanks.
Thank you,
appreciate it. Still to come, we'll check out a hitman on the loose and a love-struck gorilla. Plus a whole lot of tomfoolery from the 2005 VGAs, so don't go anywhere. It's GameHead. Since its release in September, Burnout Revenge has sold more than 215,000 units, earning more than $10.5 million.
Yesterday, my friends told me to smoke some pot.
Lead TV, only on Spike. What up, Menudos? Hi! I know. Hey, welcome back to GameHead. We are backstage at the 2005 Spike TV Video Game Awards. Now, we've had a lot of game developers and guys on the show. Finally, we have a beautiful woman, Maria Menounos.
Thank you.
The star of 007 From Russia with Love, and also presenter tonight.
And best game based on a movie is Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, and King Kong had his way with me.
Whoa! It's worthwhile because you did win tonight,
Thank
which is
you.
very exciting. That was a competitive category. We talked early. You said you had no chance of winning.
I'm nominated with Charlize Theron. That's so awesome.
It is pretty cool. So what are your prospects here, Maria? You gotta give me some game in.
Negative.
Come on, help me tell them who the winner is. Maria Menounos.
You see how ridiculous I was on stage? I was completely stunned, had no idea what I was saying. I never thought that if I ever was to win an award, I'd be so not eloquent. Okay, this is so weird. Are you serious? Is this for real?
We're dead serious.
For real?
Yeah.
You think I'm Cyber Vixen of the Year?
Cyber Vixen of the Year.
Maybe
Guys,
next year I will have been in the Bond movie, so I will be attached to the Bond video game for next year.
I see. So you gotta give Daniel Craig a call, see if he's interested.
Maybe. Maybe you should call him and tell him that I'm worthy. I just won Cyber Vixen of the Year.
That's what it is.
Oh my God, this is so amazing.
Thanks for stopping by, Maria.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I'm so excited. Thanks, Spike TV.
Absolutely.
All right.
Cool. Thank you. See you now. Tonight with the big man, the big winner tonight, David Jaffe, designer of God of War.
And the winner is God of War. God of War.
Won designer of the year and action game of the year, which is pretty exciting. So, you impressed, David?
Am I impressed?
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Impressed by yourself?
No, I'm not impressed by myself. I'm impressed by the whole show. You know what? I think this is probably the first show where, you know, we've actually gotten some recognition. I mean, it wasn't just, you know, the God of War team. I think when I was backstage, I saw the guys from Burnout getting something. Yep. And so it's not just like, you know, C-level actors from a UPN show. It's actual, you know, Spikes is like, hey, let's you know, reward these guys and girls who make the games, as well as, you know, throw some flash in there. There are these people who are out there making movies and TV shows and writing books, and you know, we're giving them as much pleasure as they're giving us, and that's awesome. It's very, very cool. Somebody was telling me there's like a 71-year-old grandma who's playing God of War, and she like loves it. So it's just like, you know, I mean, it's great.
Cool. All right, David Jaffe, congratulations again. Well-deserved award winner tonight.
I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Agent 47, one of the world's deadliest assassins, is back in Eidos and IO Interactive's Hitman Blood Money. Instead of taking place in Europe like the previous games, the majority of this game's missions are set in U.S. locales like Las Vegas and Los Angeles. In this adventure, a rival agency is slowly killing off other agents in your firm. So it's time to go underground to save your bacon and take out the competition using your arsenal of laser sights, rifles, and bombs. It pays to make a clean hit because in this game you earn blood money after taking out a mark. The bad news is that if someone has to come in and cover your tracks, say if you forget to hide a dead body, you earn less. You may also have to bribe the press to keep sketches of your face out of the newspaper. It's too early to tell how the game will turn out, but keep your eyes locked on Hitman Blood Money when it comes out in spring 2006 for PS2, Xbox, and PC.
I'm here with Rob from Vivendi Universal Games, winners with Monolith Productions for Fear, best first-person action game. Very competitive category. That the guys from Call of Duty were here earlier, and they were kind of bummed that you guys took it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an honor to win. I mean, Fear's been such a great product to work on. It's great to be recognized here at the Spike Awards.
Now, you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were shown as the winner, but you didn't actually get to go on stage to give an acceptance speech, right?
No, didn't get to do that, but it was great to win.
So here's your moment on the GameHead show to give your acceptance speech to your fans. What would you have said, Rob?
I would have thanked Monolith for such a fantastic product. I mean, that award just goes to the team. It was just an amazing effort. It's their genius that made the game possible. You know, it was Craig Hubbard who was, of course, nominated for Designer of the Year.
If only Craig would fly in an airplane. He could have been here to accept, right?
Definitely. It would have been well-deserved.
Well-deserved, absolutely. It's such a nice guy. Makes such a mean, vicious game. Yet the nicest guy out there. Rob, congratulations again. Best first-person action game for Fair.
Okay, stick around because coming up, we've got the world-renowned Michelle Ancel, a trip to Skull Island, and Kobayashi-san, developer of the 2005 Game of the Year, all right here, only on GameHead. Here's a GameHead fact. From November 2004 to October of 2005, women purchased about 67.7 million games, spending about $1.9 billion, 1/3 of all video game sales. Be on the lookout for these titles hitting stores this week. Gauntlet 7 Sorrows from Midway comes out for the PS2 and Xbox. WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 by THQ hits Sony's handheld PSP. And Tony Hawk's American Wasteland by Activision makes it to the PC.
Best game based on a movie.
Best game based on a movie is Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead here at the 2005 Spike TV Video Game Awards. I'm with another winner of Best Game Based on a Movie, Michelle Ancel, who came all the way from the Alps of France to pick up your award. Whoa! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, that's an incredible surprise. I think it's the kind of prize I would be honored to share with Mr. Jackson, because a game based on the movie, you know, you have game, you have the movie, myself, Peter Jackson, and so I'm really proud to share this prize with him.
Seriously, all the other nominees, off.
Let's go. And Jack Black won. I saw him for Best Male Performance. He had a little video introduction, which was cool, right?
Yeah, that's incredible because he did several takes, for the game. Takes and takes and takes until it was good, like if it was for the movie, in fact.
Can you believe this? Look at the size of those things. This is, I think, probably the best movie game that's ever been created. What do you think it's going to take to, make movie games as good as King Kong going forward? Is it really the director collaborating with someone like you?
Yeah, I think that for this game, we really start with Peter Jackson. When he was starting the movie, we start the game with him. So it's a collaboration, it's not a conversion of a movie. Yeah. And I think that sharing talents and ideas is more important than sharing a project.
Yeah. Well deserved. Congratulations again, Michelle.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.
Our Game of the Week, powered by Energizer, took home 3 awards, including Best Game Based on a Movie and Best Cast. And how's this for irony? Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie, may have one of the longest game titles in recent memory, but in fact is actually one of the shortest games, taking only 6 or 7 hours to complete. Still, it's a visually stunning experience set on Skull Island and New York as you relive the movie, playing through both the eyes of Adrian Brody's character, Jack Driscoll, and as Kong himself. The highlight of the game is definitely when you get to play as Kong, with amazing controls that let you swing on vines, run up walls, and yes, even tear apart a T-Rex. It's just too bad that there aren't more levels where you get to play as the big hairy beast. The first-person shooter sequences are also fun, but ultimately less impressive. Since the game follows a very linear path, at times the experience feels more like a Disneyland ride than an open-world adventure. Despite these drawbacks, King Kong, which is out for every game system including the Xbox 360, is still one of the best video games ever based on a movie.
Game of the Year.
Resident Evil 4.
All right, well, here is the man of the night, the winner of Game of the Year for Resident Evil 4, Kobayashi-san, from the team that developed this incredible game over in Japan. You came all the way over here. I guess it was worth the trip.
It was well worth it. I'm glad to be able to take this award home and show the team back at home.
Now, it was a lot of tough competition in this category. Did you think you had a shot to win the award?
Well, they did invite us all the way over from Japan, so we were confident we'd at least go home with something, so we were glad it was the Game of the Year award.
Fantastic. Now, what did you think of the actual show? A lot of big, celebrities on stage, big music acts, 50 Cent, Missy Elliott. Did you have a fun time at the show?
I was really looking forward to meeting Samuel L. Jackson, so when I was finally able to get up on stage, shake his hand, that was just a high point in my life.
Well, congratulations, Resident Evil 4, a fantastic game on GameCube and PS2, a well-deserved winner for Game of the Year. Mr. Kobayashi-san, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that about wraps it up for this week's GameHead behind the scenes of the 2005 Spike TV Video Game Awards. Hope you guys liked the fact that we went behind the scenes with the game developers and heard what they thought of the show, and also winning and losing in many of the categories out there, like Game of the Year, which I actually got wrong. I predicted it was going to be God of War, but it did go to Resident Evil 4. Definitely a deserving nominee. And you may remember back in the nomination special show, I made some other predictions. I got a few wrong there, too. Best first-person action game, I picked Call of Duty 2 for the Xbox 360. It actually went to Fear on the PC. A great game with a freaky little girl in it. And the other category that I messed up was Best RPG. I picked Jade Empire for the Xbox, but it went to World of Warcraft, the incredible massively multiplayer game that David Jaffe actually said he thought should have won Game of the Year. But anyways, my odds were pretty good, though. I got most of the categories right, so stick with me and I'll give you the guide. Anyways, that's it for this week's GameHead. Make sure to tune in next time for GameHead, where we give you all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you?
Looks like the heavens finally answered.
Hey everybody, welcome to GameHead. This week we're coming to you from Venice, California. We're going to be taking a look at Blur Studios, the guys that do amazing in-game animation for cinematics and games like Warhammer, Spider-Man 2, and Hellgate London. We're hanging out here at the coffee shop. Look who it is. It's Tim Miller, the creative director at Blur. Are you getting your fuel for the morning? A little coffee?
It fuels everything we do.
Excellent. Let's head on over to the studio. Tonight on GameHead, we've got previews of Stacked with Daniel Negreanu and The Outfit. We check out what Bruce Willis and PlayStation have in common, and we review Condemned Criminal Origins. Now, you guys, you don't make video games. you make animation for video games.
Right. We do the high-res, pre-rendered cutscenes that sort of tell the backstory or that they use for marketing or get people excited about playing the game.
All that stuff that gamers usually click through, right? They press the start button.
Well, if they suck,
but they don't suck when they come from Blur, right?
That's right. We try really hard to make it interesting. So, I mean, I think that if you go online, like when we did the Warhammer piece, you go online, you read the guys going, "Hey man, this is the first cutscene I haven't spacebarred through in ages." So I think
that's
people
the
get really excited.
compliment when they don't skip.
That's the ultimate compliment.
Well, that's cool. Now, you guys have been doing this for what, like 10 years, right? You started back with $20,000, right?
We did. We started the studio with $20,000, but it wasn't necessarily to do games. I was at Sony ImageWorks with my partners, and you know, after a while, you kind of want a little more control over your creative destiny. I hated the idea that like cool projects would be turned away because they didn't have enough money, or you know, I wanted the chance to say, hey, you know what, that's cool, and even if we lose money, let's do it because it would be fun. Our first slogan is right here in the back of my shirt.
You. Now, this is anti-establishment at its finest?
This is the classic Blur shirt. Right now, we've expanded our slogan to say everybody, which we think is a little more inclusive.
All right, so here we are at Blur, right? 589 Venice Boulevard.
Why don't we go inside?
All right, cool.
Do you have keys?
No,
you
gotta hook me up.
Okay, hold on.
Unless you want me to and knock down the door. All access pass, only on GameHead, right?
Age before beauty.
It happens at the launch of every new game console. There's that one game that teeters on the brink of brilliance, but ends up feeling like it was rushed to market. That's the case with Condemned: Criminal Origins, a game from Monolith Productions and Sega for the Xbox 360. As FBI agent Ethan Thomas, you set out on the trail of a serial killer. The first-person perspective gameplay has you face off against a series of bloodthirsty thugs. Most of the game is spent whacking these foes using objects from the environment like 2x4s, fireplace pokers, and yes, even a lead pipe which you can rip off a wall. The game looks great and the close quarters combat is intense. The problem is that there's nothing very next generation about the gameplay. Graphics aside, it feels like this game could have been done on the current Xbox with only a few modifications. Condemned isn't a bad game, but personally I'd wait until they create a sequel before venturing into these dark and creepy hallways.
All right, we're in the bowels of Blur here. One big open place. So where's your office? Off on the side? Big ivory tower up there?
No, that's my seat right there. Now, we like the big open model because nobody can hide and everybody can see what each other is doing. They feed off each other.
Some guys goofing off, you know, surfing for porn or something like that, they're going to see it, right?
We're going to see it, that's right. And they have to share.
So what do you guys work on today? I know it's early, so these guys probably work the graveyard shift, right?
Yes, it is. We don't have any set hours, so people can come and go when they want to. And we're on a big deadline for Rise of Legends right now. That's like a full shot. Right. And then I think there's another pass here. That's just the effects. Yeah.
So start to finish, I mean, it's a couple months basically of like, you know, dreaming up what you want to do.
Probably 4 months. Yeah.
4 months. Wow. And how long is the final sequence?
About 2.5 minutes.
Thanks. For me, it looks awesome. How does that work? I mean, does the game company kind of come to you and say, you know, we're doing this game, we need a really cool cinematic. What could you think of, or is it more collaborative?
It kind of varies within a huge range of collaboration. Some people come in and go, hey, you guys do great stuff. Here's our game, help us make something cool, which I love that. And then some people come in and say, here's some storyboards and, you know, we want exactly this, which is fine as long as the storyboards are good.
This is where all the dreaming takes place?
This is the beginning of the process. We really like to do a lot of the design work, and a lot of people let us help, even with the game design. You know, if we're doing stuff that they don't have designs for, or characters that aren't in the regular game but are in the cutscenes, a lot of times they let us do it. Then we take this, show it to the client. The client goes, yeah, I like it, and then we build the 3D model. The best thing about working with people in the game industry is that they're so cool, and you know, they're open to new ideas, and they'll let you do stuff. You're welcome. You're welcome. Especially the people on Spike.
Exactly.
Coming up next, we see what it takes to put this mug into a video game. Daniel Negreanu teaches you a thing or two about making it in virtual Vegas, and later, we see what stars showed up for video game charity. Here's a GameHead fact. The Rise of Nations franchise has made over $25 million in the US. Not bad for a PC game, but perhaps Blur Studios will help make the next installment a true blockbuster.
Brought to you by Gamefly.com, the smartest way to rent video. Fight Night Live, Monday at 10, only on Spike.
So every year, people walk in and out of the office with the everybody shirt.
That's right. And our shirts are the most sought after shirts in the game industry. They'll go, you want the you shirt or the non-you shirt? And everybody goes, oh, give me the everybody shirt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're at Blur Studios in Venice, California. I'm here with Jed, one of the CG supervisors here at Blur. You got a lot of faces on your screen here, so what are you doing here? These are guys you're going to make them into 3D?
Yeah.
You know, faces play an important role in poker. Well, Spike TV's got a brand new show called King of Vegas, which premieres on January the 17th at 10 p.m. It's a reality show where contestants head to Las Vegas and try to own a casino. You can win $1 million if you're the best player in games like poker and roulette. You definitely want to check that out. And in honor of that show, we got a preview of a brand new game, which is called Stack.
Hi, I'm Daniel Negreanu, 2004 World Series of Poker Player of the Year, World Poker Tour Player of the Year, Card Player of the Year, and this is my new game, Stacked, with Daniel Negreanu. What separates Stacked from the rest is the AI, the artificial intelligence. All the bots in the game play differently, and what they'll do is they'll adapt to your play. So as you go through the game gets tougher because the computer is collecting data on you, which is going to make it tougher for you to win. If you're bluffing all the time, the computer will know it, and it'll start to use a counter strategy against you. And there's also the added element of a tutorial that I have in the game where you can sort of learn the basics and some advanced strategies as well. You know, most people think poker's all about having a poker face. Like, oh, I can never play poker, I don't have a poker face. That's not the truth. The truth is, it's all about watching the cards that your opponents are playing, how they're betting, how much they're betting, what hands they're betting with. If you follow this sort of information, you can become a really good poker player. Of course, the next level is reading facial expression, but it's more about getting into the betting patterns aspect of the game. And with Stacked, it gives you a great opportunity to do that. And if you do get to the end, you're going to become a better poker player. You have to.
All right, Jed, back to video games now. We've talked about these faces of all employees here, right?
Yeah. So
you're here somewhere? Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's you, right? Yeah. Say they pick, number 28 or something. As this guy is a guy we want to make into a 3D character. Right?
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
So then we have some equipment that will take a 3D scan.
So it'll basically take a photo all around 360 degrees, right, of the person's face?
The advantage of that is that now we can turn around it and see it under every angle, and then we can light it the way we want, or we can move his eyes. Okay, wow. Here we're lucky enough to have Jimry on site, so we actually asked him.
Give him a call, be angry, Jerry.
Once we have all those expressions, then we can kind of plug them back onto the face. We want him to be angry, so the cool thing is that all these expressions we can mix. So for example, we have scream and angry, take a body, and then
Space Marine,
and then he's a soldier.
Oh, soldier. Sorry, it's close.
He could be in space, but now Jimry, who in real life is an animator at Blur Studio, can now go and fight the bad guys.
Badass,
yeah,
right?
He is.
Next on GameHead, we turn this storyboard into a fist-bashing animation. We preview a World War II third-person shooter, and later, while Hollywood goes gaming, our Game of the Week goes Hollywood. Here's a GameHead advantage for Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones. On the pause screen, enter up, down, left, right, circle, square, circle, square. You just unlocked the swordfish weapon and can now rule with an intolerable stench.
Take you down. We tried it, we tried this, we tried
that.
Every variation, but everybody just seems to be classic.
The way to do it.
It's
now,
the classic.
You got 75 guys who are everybody, right?
If they do, I really don't want the details about it.
Hey, thanks for coming back to GameHead. We're still here at Blur Studios in Venice, California, and joining me now is Marlon, who's the animation supervisor here on a ton of great projects, including the Rise of Legends game, right?
Right.
So what do you got here? What are you up to, Marlon?
Well, this is, we use motion capture to get the performance from the actors, and we transfer that performance on our game characters, this is what the computer sees. And it's basically a bunch of sticks. And it's like 2 stick figures now.
Is every motion in this opening sequence, is every motion captured or no?
Actually, no. Like, the only thing you can really motion capture is like humanoid characters.
Right.
As soon as you're dealing with like creatures with multiple legs or tanks, we can't motion capture that. So then we keyframe it, and that's the second technique we use. It's or motion capture or keyframe. And actually, this shot has both. The bad guy here, the golem, is motion capture, and then this guy is kind of like a droid. He's keyframe.
So when you first start a sequence like this, do you storyboard it out, or what's the first step?
So, okay, let's say this is approved, then we go to animation, which is basically the motion capture and all the keyframe.
Right.
There you go, so it's the same shot.
And then you finally start to add in what, the lighting and the textures after that?
Lighting and texture, and then we get something like this, which is basically...
That's interesting. You can see like the sky sort of disappeared there at the top, right?
It's still raw. And then eventually in the shot, it looks like this.
Do you play a lot of games yourself? I saw you got your Battlefield 2 disc down here.
Yeah, that's right.
You play Battlefield at lunchtime?
I do play Battlefield and Quake, and I love killing my colleagues.
How many World War II games are you willing to buy? Well, THQ is hoping gamers haven't given up killing Nazis just yet. The Outfit is an Xbox 360 third-person shooter, which allows you to play as 3 different characters, J.D. Tyler, Goose Williams, and Tommy Mack, each with unique weapons and gameplay options. The story is based in France across 12 missions. You're following a rogue German officer as he terrorizes and massacres countryside civilians. The game boasts shoot-'em-up destruction with a unique strategy element. It's very similar to the game Mercenaries from LucasArts. You control squad mates and also gather field units to purchase reinforcements, such as guns and tanks, that are necessary to win missions. Given that this is an Xbox 360 game, there's also tons of destruction, especially when you seize an enemy vehicle and use it to take down surrounding buildings, even churches. Look out for more info on the Outfit, scheduled to be released in March, right here on GameHead.
We have a tradition here at Blur where after lunch every day, we have a 45-minute timed game. Then you'll hear a little thing, Quake. And then people jump in and there's a game going. But it's good because we play like Capture the Flag, so it's all team building stuff, and you have people yelling.
And guys come back here probably watch movies sometimes, or chill out, play some pool?
Oh yeah, they totally do that. And one of our clients just gave us an Xbox 360.
Nice, they're hard to get.
I know.
Clients love you. You make good animation. Good things come to you, right?
That's right.
Very cool.
Do good work and everything else follows.
Still to come on GameHead, we talk Killzone, real gameplay or fake computer graphics.
We actually turned down working on that video, so I knew from the get-go.
Bruce Willis and Sony decide games are good for kids, and we produce our Game of the Week. Here's a GameHead fact. Although PC games are often at the cutting edge of game design, they only make up for 28% of sales in the video game industry.
This Monday at 10, only on Spike.
Here's a look at what games are releasing this week. MVP 06 NCAA Baseball from EA Sports for the Xbox and PS2, and Sony's Ape Escape 3 for the PS2. Hey, thanks for coming back to GameHead. We're here at Blur in Venice, California. I'm now with Corey and Kevin, who are scene assemblers here working on game cinematics for the brand new game Rise of Legends from Microsoft. So you guys are sort of the final piece in the chain, I guess, before the scene is finished?
Yeah, basically once animation gets done, once layouts and everything's done, and it comes to us and we put the final scene together, we light it, and we make it look pretty, and then the final shot, what you see, is what we give the client.
Can you show us what the different parts look like?
Yeah, so what we got here is a breakout of all of our shots.
Right.
You can see we get a whole flow of here. So all these different actually green nodes here are actually different render passes that we do. So, breakdowns, basically we have a sky, we add some fog to our sky, our mountain range.
Right.
Then we start adding a whole bunch of different elements here.
So how long does it take to render one of these scenes?
First of all, each shot will usually have anywhere from 30 to 60 passes, and each pass per character can take anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes.
It ain't easy to create a scene like that.
Oh no, there's a lot involved to all of it.
That's just one part of this 2-minute cinematic, right? So you have to do this for every single scene?
For every single shot. And so every shot, we got to do, a scene assembler's job also is to do set dressing.
Right.
So we also have, once you get the environment done, then you place the rocks in there, you place the grass, and the trees, everything.
This December, Sony Computer Entertainment America and the Bruce Willis Foundation joined together to create a new platform for charity. video games. The PlayStation Band Together event fused music, celebs, and games to raise $100,000 to benefit Habitat for Humanity and Save the Children.
I think it's great that they've invited so many people and found video games as a common denominator, because that brings a lot of different people together.
Celebrities like Tony Hawk, Dave Navarro, and Kelly Osbourne all joined in the virtual battle to help raise some cash. But they were all beaten in the final rounds of the competition by Team Willis for the honor of presenting $50,000 to Habitat for Humanity and another $50,000 to Save the Children.
Just trying to help people.
A day of live musical performances, rubbing elbows with Hollywood's finest, and of course button mashing combos proved to be a great way to band together.
It seems like the right thing to do. Wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. Wouldn't you agree?
All right, so we're talking about cinematics, and the big thing is, you know, with next gen, PS3, Xbox 360, this stuff is looking so good. I'm sure you've seen, like, you know, the PlayStation 3 thing, the Killzone video that they showed at E3 last year, which was just, like, insane, and they said this is what PlayStation 3 is going to look like.
You know, that was a whole mistake. We actually turned down working on that video, so I knew it wasn't real from the get-go, and I also knew the company in Scotland that had worked on it for, like, 6 months.
Oh, really? So they asked you to do the CG video for it, and you turned it down?
Oh, yeah. We were too busy.
Too busy? Yeah, that's fine. So, so they gave it to another company, but, you know, they showed it at E3. Everyone was thinking this was what Killzone was actually going to look like on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, and I don't think that they, from what I understood, because actually we're talking to them about doing cinematics right now, I don't think that, and having talked to them after that, I don't think that that was their intention, was to fool anybody.
Yeah. But it kind of captured your imagination about, like, how cool it would be if a game ever played like that.
Yeah, but I don't think you want to capture your imagination by fooling people.
Right. That's interesting, because, I mean, you see that, and you're like, why would you ever need cinematics that look, you know, that plays just like, you know, like a movie?
Because it doesn't look like that. That's the thing.
And that's sort of what the Killzone video to me was. It was sort of like a sense of, like, you know, they eventually, you know, is it 5 or 10 years from now? It's going to get there.
I don't even think it's 5 or 10 years. I think it's 2 years.
So you think
3 years.
So what we saw for that Killzone video at E3, you think eventually it will get there?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's look at what games might look like in the future, but let's check out a game that's out right now. It's our Game of the Week.
What would it be like to run your own movie studio? The movies from Lionhead Studios and Activision, a new simulation game for the PC, lets you do just that. And yes, that means you've got to write movie scripts, send actors to rehab, and maybe even build Scientology assist tents on movie sets. Okay, we're kidding about that last one, but this really is an exhaustive simulation game. That means you'll be hiring staff, greenlighting films, and praying for blockbuster success. The business simulation is impressive, if not a bit heavy on micromanagement. The best part of the game is the movie-making mode. In this mode, you get to create short films, shot by shot, in a variety of genres like comedies and horror films. You can even use a microphone to record your own dialogue.
Welcome to GameHead.
Yeah. You tried it. You tried this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Tim.
Overall, the movies is perhaps a bit too ambitious for its own good, but it is a fresh and innovative concept that simulation game fans will definitely enjoy. Just don't blame me if you become the next Ed Wood.
All right, Tim. Well, I guess that's all Blur has to offer.
Is that not enough?
Well, it looks like you guys are pretty busy. So we got, you know, big games like Warhammer coming out, and you've got Rise of Legends, which looks fantastic.
Company of Heroes, Warhammer for Mythic, another one for Relic, another Hellgate cinematic.
So you guys are going to be big at E3, right? When we go to E3, we're going to see all your cinematics all over the place?
That's right. We own E3. And I think, in fact, we've owned E3 for every year for the last 4 or so. You look everywhere.
You could own it even more.
You can't look. Nah. Maybe we'll do the one this year.
All right, we'll have to wait and see, right? Okay, cool. Well, that's it for this week's GameHead. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, we've got an all-new GameHead, so make sure to tune in for all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you? Coming up tonight on GameHead, we're going behind the scenes at the Collective Studios. They're one of the largest independent game developers in the world. They've worked on games like Star Wars Episode 3, Indiana Jones, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And their new game, Mark Echo's Getting Up Contents Under Pressure, is coming out in February. We're going behind the scenes to learn about what it takes to make a video game and an independent developer Plus, we've got all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. It's coming up next, right here on GameHead. Tonight on GameHead, we get an exclusive look at 2K Games' The Da Vinci Code, developed at Collective Studios. We have a preview of Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2, and World Soccer Winning 11 9 International. Plus, we review The Chronicles of Narnia, Dead or Alive 4, and more. Hey everybody, and welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're coming to you from Newport Beach, California, the home of one of the last independent developers left out there, The Collective. I'm here with Gary, who's one of the co-founders of The Collective. The two brothers, the two of the co-founders of the company, Doug and Richard Hare. Do you feel like left out? Because they have their little brother talks.
Yeah, kind of. I'm a bit of the adopted brother, let's say.
Right.
We're all brothers, really. At the end of the day, when we're working in this company, but right. it is always like the Hare brothers and that other guy.
How long have you guys been doing this company? Since a long time, right?
97.
97.
We founded the company in 97.
Well, we kind of got into as hobbyists, and then we kind of clumsily became a career, I guess.
Yeah. Grew up messing around with computers. When I was a kid, I get like home computers and mess around with those. And then I ended up getting a job in the industry when I was like 17.
Well, what's the most embarrassing game that you have your credit on from back in the day?
I'm thinking that would be Last Action Hero.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that was
based on the Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah.
You didn't want like no guns on the poster.
No guns.
Like that. Right.
Correct. So
and no guns in the game.
And no guns in the game. So we went from doing a game where you had a gun shooting guys to you can't have a gun. Right. So it became right at the end there stuff like.
Sophisticated close quarter combat. Yeah.
C.S. Lewis's classic book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, came to life as a movie and a game this past holiday season. The film is a blockbuster hit, but how's the game? Well, this Disney production definitely captures the look and feel of the film. You enter the world of Narnia, a land frozen in eternal winter by the evil White Witch. It's up to you as one of 4 young siblings to battle against wolves and other creatures to free this frozen paradise. The gameplay lets you switch between playing as all 4 of the kids. Peter, the oldest, is the best fighter, whereas Susan is a great long-range fighter. You can even team up to create combo attacks, such as when Peter swings Edmund in a circle so he can kick enemies. Overall, this trip through the wardrobe suffers from a couple of problems. First, the game's really short, but the biggest problem is the artificial intelligence. The other 3 siblings seldom do much to help you in the heat of battle. Narnia might be a fine game for kids, but I really can't recommend it for hardcore gamers.
That's pretty cool to be able to do, Indiana Jones, Buffy, Dirty Harry, Da Vinci Code game, which are going based on the movie.
And typically for a licensed title, then there's a lot more research. We have to get into the license. We have to watch all the TV shows, watch the movies. That's tough. Not really. And then we have to read through the script. If they have a new movie coming out, we have to get into that script to understand what's going on. Sometimes we actually get some film footage or some early shots. We'll get some photos of the sets and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more research.
Yeah, and Star Wars.
Star Wars, exactly.
Earlier this year, that was
Episode 3 game. Yeah,
exactly. And that was very exciting to be working alongside and concurrently with the development of the film, and watching the dailies with Lucas, and just sort of seeing it come together. That whole kind of process was fascinating. But then there's a spoiler aspect to it, because we're obviously fans of the series, and it's that thing we're sort of going, right, I guess there's not going to be as much fun. There's no surprise,
right.
But at the same time, I think it worked out really well. I mean, from a prequel standpoint, it's obviously no doubt the strongest.
We want to make the game as true to life. True to that license as possible.
Right.
So there's a lot more legwork in the research side, making sure that we're doing it right. We don't want to, we don't want to get the fans getting that game and then going, that's not how it was, or that character's nose isn't quite right or something. We want to make sure that it's true to the license.
That's cool. So you've read the Da Vinci Code, I guess?
I read the Da Vinci Code.
You've seen Dirty Harry a few times?
Absolutely.
How many times?
I've seen Dirty Harry, I don't know, 6 times?
6 times, so that's pretty good.
And the funny thing is that people on the movie side, actors and so on, are really into games, as well. There's this whole new generation of younger people that are totally into games.
And older people like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, and Clint, obviously, yeah. And they come in and it's like, oh, how'd you do that? And there's a behind-the-scenes aspect for them too,
Yeah.
Wow.
The most celebrated game in soccer is clearly World Soccer Winning 11, and the 9th game in the series is slated for release this February. Competitor FIFA has always had more licensed teams, but in the 9th version of Winning 11, Konami catches up. Also added and similar to FIFA is an editing mode, which allows you to customize players, teams, stadiums, and more. It seems like the biggest addition to the game is in the online play. They've added a memorial match, which will keep track of your previous matchups and create stronger rivalries. And there's a save and share program that will allow you to save your favorite plays and matchups and share with competitors. Gameplay has not changed that much, but when it ain't broken, why fix it? Konami does promise that the opposing teams will have better artificial intelligence and will prove to be even tougher rivals. Look out for World Soccer Winning 11-9 in early February for PS2, PC, Xbox, and also the PSP. Coming up next, our preview of Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle-earth 2. Gary reveals the collective's first original game pitch, and the guys reveal the perks for game developers.
I mean, we literally had to jump out of the way and stand up against the side as trains were going by.
And later, our exclusive look at 2K Games' and the collective's Da Vinci Code. Here's a GameHead fact and not a total surprise. The top 5 selling games for 2005 included Madden NFL 06 for the PS2 and Xbox, and Pokemon Emerald for the Game Boy Advance. Guess we're all a little adolescent at heart. Congrats, Pikachu.
Brought to you a 10 on Spike.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. We're here at the Collective Studios in Newport Beach, California. And this is John. He's the lead designer for the brand new game, Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. So what are we working on here, John?
Hey, we're looking at all the different documentation that we put together throughout production. There was a lot of...
it's been a long production, right? Two years?
Yeah, well, 2 years now, 2 years, 2 months. We've been working on this thing back since August of 2003.
Wow.
And one of the things about creating an original product is that we've gone through a number of different iterations in what the story was going to be and what the gameplay mechanics were.
I saw that the slogan here, if you build it, they will come. If you rebuild it, they will bring their friends. So you've been through a lot of iterations on this.
Yeah, iterations and just trying to get it right. I mean, nobody's really done a graffiti game to this point. What I like to do is take a concept like that and see how you can turn it into gameplay. Take an abstract idea like being a graffiti artist and going from a toy to a legend throughout a series of levels and make that fun, make it an addictive gameplay experience.
So what are we looking at here, John? You've got kind of a flow chart for graffiti, I guess?
Yeah, one of the things that we really wanted to emphasize in the game was the Black Book. And that the Black Book is the graffiti's, it's their Bible, it's their lifeblood. They carry this with them everywhere they go.
It's all the girls and then all the graffiti.
This is where they get the phone numbers, they write down, they do all the sketches, and pretty much, this became what was the Black Book in the game. So the player uses this to choose his pieces, to select the kinds of pieces he wants, the color, and these are the ones that he actually takes out into the world with him.
But obviously all this doesn't matter unless the game actually plays good, right? And that's what, I guess you spent a lot of time on, is focusing on the actual gameplay, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tuning involved. One of the things we really spent a lot of time on was how he does graffiti. How does he attach to the wall? How does he move his arm? Or how does the player move his arm? And originally we had this idea that he just sort of moved his hand, and that didn't look very good. So we went and tried pre-canning all the animations. We have video from a graffiti artist named Ewok, and we started to put in the style, but we found that still wasn't enough. So we combined the two to give the player the realistic movement of graffiti, the way the graffiti artist would move his hand, then put that into an interactive way that the player literally controls, up, down, left, right, whether he can fill in, heavy or lightly. We have 2 different kinds of spray.
Custom paint program almost.
Worms, Balrogs, and dragons are just a few of the new creatures introduced in the Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle-earth 2 for your PC. This real-time strategy game from the creators of Command & Conquer is the first Lord of the Rings game that is based on both Peter Jackson's films and the original Lord of the Rings novels. What that means is that you'll sometimes see creatures that were mentioned in the books but never realized in the films. As in all RTS games, you have the choice to fight for good or evil. If you play the good campaign, you defend the northern lands from Sauron's armies, protect the elven port city of the Grey Havens from a sea attack, and travel to Sauron's fortress for the final battle. But play for the evil guys and you build Sauron's army yourself and choose to burn the Shire, destroy the hobbits, and conquer Rivendell. Also new is a Risk-style metagame, which blends turn-based strategy with real-time combat as you battle for Middle-earth against the computer or over the internet. If you're a fan of RTS games, make sure to check out The Battle for Middle-earth 2 when it ships in late February.
Now, you guys are independent developers, so you've got to sort of, write your own destiny, and you come up with game ideas, and obviously lots of people have game ideas, but you guys have to, get them funded, you got to support a team, and, build the game. Take us through, one of your games, like a Wrath Unleashed was one game you did with LucasArts, I know. That was an idea somebody here had, right?
Yeah, sure.
What do? You have to sort of write up like a document about, a design document, and then show it to a publisher and say, give us X million to make this game?
That's pretty much it.
This is how you convince them, besides your charming personality.
Yeah, exactly. This is all you need.
No, really, this was the actual pitch document we took around to different people, publishers, etc. And basically, it'll go through, from an overview of what we believe the game is going to be like, features, exactly, features, and it takes you through an overview about how the game will actually work, just in general sense. Then you get into some more details, like how do the individual elements work within the game, like what kind of hit points, that kind of thing, how strong the characters, through the different types of world tiles and their characteristics, and then you'll gradually just. We'll put a lot of detail. We'll show some screenshots. This is from the prototype they put together.
Right. So it's not just this. It's this in addition to the actual running prototype of the game, which is pretty important, right?
Pretty important. This is something that we just show that we've covered all bases. We've figured out the game, how everything's going to work. We'll do a lot of concept art of a lot of the different characters that are going to appear in the game. So you got to make it look glossy.
And then romance before finance, and then at the back you've got the big budget, right?
And the more romance you do, the more finance you get.
Coming up next on GameHead, I make our PA work up a sweat with the PS2's iToy Kinetic, plus the guys from the Collective go tagging. And still to come, our exclusive look at the Da Vinci Code and our Game of the Week fights like a girl, a hot girl. Here's a GameHead advantage for Guitar Hero on the PS2. In the game mode selection menu, enter orange, yellow, blue, blue, orange, yellow, blue, blue. You've just turned your fans into thrashing deadheads.
Love is like coming in 2006.
Welcome back to GameHead. We're at the Collective here in Newport Beach, and I'm with Brian, who is the lead artist on Mark Echo's Getting Up Contents Under Pressure. So you got him. Is this is early train?
This is early train. So really, what we wanted to do is show a version of our character when he's pretty much just a kid. And here we actually see, you might read it, it says toy on his shirt. Right. He has a Crude X spray painted on his back. Now this happens at a pivotal point in the game very early on, where Train decides that he's going to start a war with the Van Arm. Okay. So, he comes in like a kid, and he's going to come out like a warrior. So basically at the end of that mission, he shaves his head, he finds a hoodie, he puts Still Free on there, and he puts a more official kind of his official logo. So he works that into his character design, into his persona.
He's sophisticated.
He brings his game up.
Did he change a lot from sort of your first vision of what he would be versus the final?
Absolutely. I mean, we started with something that was a lot more cartoony. I think our first idea of what this game was, and what Mark originally pushed was something that was cel-shaded. Okay. And then as we evolved,
More Jet Grind Radio.
Yeah, Jet Grind Radio was sort of was one of the first things we were looking at. And then I think we realized the subject matter was high drama, so we wanted to treat it as realistically as possible. Right. So yeah, the evolution went from cartoony to like buff. So everyone must change.
Everyone must change. Change is good.
Change is good.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
So you know how your girlfriend always tells you to get out and get some exercise instead of playing those mind-numbing, gut-creating video games? Well, do I have a solution for you? iToy Kinetic, which lets you play a video game and also burn off calories. Miss a workout, though, and your trainer will actually reprimand you the next time you turn on your PS2. The iToy camera can be a bit fussy to use, especially if you aren't in a well-lit room. And while this is really more of a fitness video than a fun game, I have to give Kinetic points for trying to do some good. So look out for my six-pack abs on a future episode. Thanks, Kinetic.
What was in the crash course here on graffiti culture? What did you guys have to watch or do?
I think that what the turning point largely for the team was when they actually went out to New York on a field trip and New Jersey and sort of explored around that sort of terrain and were led by, a couple of graph artists around, and we're actually just taken on a kind of little tagging tour.
Tag any buildings? Well, you can tell us the truth here.
Well, yeah, we actually did. They took us down into the subways, and we moved through subway where we actually...
You have the hood up?
Yeah, actually, I did have a hood up that day.
And we were just walking down subway tracks with, the trains whizzing past, like hiding, going past. And it was the most surreal thing where, because at this point the game was relatively developed, and we'd already built sets exactly like this, and enemies that were exactly like this, and it's the first time where I've actually felt I'm actually walking in one of my games.
There was a third rail. I mean, we literally had to jump out of the way and stand up against the side as trains were going by.
What was your tag?
J31.
Nice.
So anybody in Brooklyn who sees J31 now, they know who it is.
J31. I would have known, right?
And then afterwards, I came back to the art team and so said, guys spawn, but the lights aren't blue. The inside. It's like there's only one thing you missed. And so
Next on GameHead, the Collective gives the secret to surviving as an independent developer.
This is good enough. Let's just ship that.
We get an exclusive look at 2K Games and the Collective's Da Vinci Code. And our Game of the Week fights for life and death. Here's a GameHead fact. It's time to celebrate because 2005 was a record-breaking year for the video game industry, generating $10.5 billion. That breaks the previous record high from back in 2002.
Mike, who will be crowned the ultimate gambler?
I will take you down.
You don't want to miss next week on GameHead because controversial film director Uwe Boll is here to talk about Blood Rain, A Dungeon Siege Tale, Postal, and the online petition for him to stop directing video game movies.
She's sucking blood out of people. She's people. She's doing like what you have in the game.
Right.
And I think this is super important that we're not out to do a commercial movie. And I don't get why especially the game people are hating me for it. Yeah? Why they don't hate Elektra or Catwoman, where we would never see these girls are never topless. They never would have sex. They never even suck blood out of people like Kate Beckinsale in Underworld.
And we've got all the news, reviews, and previews you guys want. Where else but right here on GameHead.
Welcome back to GameHead. We're still here at the Collective Studios in Newport Beach, California, and they're working on the final days of development on Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. And in here, we got Marwan.
Hey,
how are you, man? The producer of the games. You're pretty excited the game's almost done, right?
Yeah, man, we're psyched. We are psyched.
A day for celebration here at the Collective?
Yeah, just a few more things and we'll be out there.
Lived this game for over a year, right?
Absolutely, yeah, I have. I was at E3 when they were first showing the movie. And a friend of mine told me to check it out, and once I saw it, I knew
That was
I had
outside
it.
where they had that just like that booth.
Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
That throbbing soundtrack.
Exactly. And I approached the Collective, and they basically pushed, and here I am, a year and a half later. So, game's it's looking great, and we are excited to have it.
And you still have to put up with those wacky hair brothers, right?
The Wacky Hair Brothers, Doug and Richard, very different guys, but we love them. They're the founders and leaders of our company, and you know, they're the way I articulate it to people I know is that Richard and Doug are the kind of guys you want to work hard for. They're good guys, and also Gary Priest, you know, the third founder of the Collective. They're fun guys. They work hard and they're driven.
And they play hard.
They do. Yeah, they do. They certainly do. Well, they're Scots and Brits, so yeah, they do.
Also in development at the Collective is the well-kept secret, the Da Vinci Code. GameHead managed to crack the code and score this exclusive look at this third-person action game from 2K Games. Based on the best-selling book and releasing with the movie this May, this action-adventure game has a lot of potential. You'll play as both Robert Langdon, the main character who's a Harvard professor, and his sidekick Sophie. The gameplay will be a mix of stealth action, puzzle solving, and of course some high-stakes combat in stunning locations like the Louvre in Paris and the Vatican. Stay tuned to GameHead for much more on the Da Vinci Code in the coming months.
How do you guys keep surviving in this, environment where it seems like there are fewer and fewer independent people out there?
I think that, it's a combination of, we just do very good work. I think that shows in the work that we do. We're passionate about it. It's never been just a job.
Right.
We want to make something that's excellent.
It's a lot of hard work. We have to work hard on these games. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of attention.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun.
Rich, Gary, and I are game developers at heart, and that was a passion that we've had through our entire adult lives. It means that we can't fool ourselves. It's not like we just sort of think, this is good enough. Let's just ship that.
Right.
It means something to us. We sort of stand by it.
It's a great job, really. We get to do what we grew up loving to do and keep doing it as we get older.
Okay, well, we've been all around the Collective looking at all the games that they're working on, but now it's time to take a look at GameHead's Game of the Week.
Just when you thought video game storytelling had come so far, you put in your copy of Dead or Alive 4 on the Xbox 360. And what do you find? Your fourth battle is against another top-heavy Asian bombshell who's pissed that you stole her head of lettuce from the local market. Now, admittedly, people don't play fighting games for their rich, involving stories, but across the board, DOA 4 feels a lot like, DOA 3. In other words, the gameplay isn't much different on the Xbox 360, although there are some cool interactive environments, like a marketplace that lets you throw your opponent into a fruit stand. But put innovation aside, and DOA 4 is still a beautiful and well-done fighting game that includes great online play. There's even a Halo-inspired character named Spartan 458. So don't get me wrong, DOA 4 definitely delivers a polished fighting game experience. Just don't expect it to break much new ground.
Well, that's it for this week's GameHead. I want to thank the guys at The Collective for inviting us behind the scenes at their studio. Can't wait to learn more about the Dirty Harry game and also the Da Vinci Code game, which is coming out this summer. Now make sure to tune in next week for GameHead because we've got more behind-the-scenes scoop on the video game industry and, of course, all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you? Video game movies suck? Well, you probably do, and if you... Do you think that movies based on video games suck? Well, tonight on GameHead, if you think so, we got a show for you, because I'm going to meet the controversial video game movie director, Uwe Boll. This guy is hated on the internet. But we're going to sit down tonight for an interview on GameHead. He's the controversial director behind movies like House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, and Blood Rain. Most people on the internet think these movies suck. There's even a petition to get him to stop making video game movies. But he doesn't care, and we're going to pull no punches in our interview with him. Coming up next, in addition to all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews, right here on GameHead. Tonight on GameHead, we review Mega Man X Collection and MVP 06 NCAA, and we preview Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, Kingdom Hearts 2, and much more. Hey everybody, and welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're going to talk all about video games becoming films, and there's no better guy to talk to than this man right here, Uwe Boll, who's directed Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead, and also the brand new film Blood Rain, with Kristanna Loken right up there, in theaters now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's running till last Friday, right. And it keeps going.
Keeps going. Now, what is it about video games for you as a film director? Why are you making all these video game films?
No, I think like video games are a little like best-selling books, but for a younger generation. So you have great stories, characters, settings, moods, production design. You can steal a lot out of the video game to make a good movie.
Now, but the thing is, a lot of gamers, complain that, video game movies from back to, Super Mario Brothers, even the Doom movie, they've all sucked, and, people didn't like them. Why do you think, video game movies have such a bad reputation?
Yeah, first of all, I think a lot of people think video games are stupid in a way, or only horror or shooter games or whatever. This is the one image problem what video games have. And the second is, a video game is not a great, let's say, it is not an art house kind of movie what reviewers like. Right. Like the critics are normally against this kind of action-driven movies. And I think these are like fast-driven genre movies, 90 minutes long, and for a special audience and to entertain the people, and not to get an Oscar or a Cannes nomination or something.
Come on, Tara Reid wasn't going to get her Oscar for Alone in the Dark?
Yeah, it's a big mistake maybe from the jury. Yeah.
It says once you make it down here alive, you're already dead.
What was it like, though? I mean, how do you decide to cast Tara Reid as this, anthropologist in Alone in the Dark?
So the truth was that she was also with the same agency like Stephen Dorff and Christian Slater. Okay. And her agent said, she wants to do it, she wants to do it. And she never did a movie like this. Right. And she was super motivated to do it. And but we all see that she is better in comedies.
So it wasn't quite the right choice, you don't think, afterwards?
No, I would not do it again.
All right.
So what should I say?
Forget the Louisville Slugger and bring on the sweet ping of an aluminum bat. Since EA Sports lost the Major League Baseball license last year, this year EA Sports presents College Baseball, or as I like to call it, the college sport with no cheerleaders. That's right, instead of suiting up as the Yankees or the Dodgers, you'll be playing as the Seton Hall Pirates or the Cal Poly Mustangs. Ah, the smell of fresh-faced college debutantes instead of steroid-pumped sluggers. The core gameplay in MVP is similar to what EA has done in the past. The right analog stick is now an important part of how you bat and also throw the ball. The game also has a cool create a ballpark feature for budding architects. Plus, one nice new feature is an ESPN sports ticker along the bottom of the screen that runs the latest sports headlines. Overall, MVP Baseball ends up being a bit of a foul ball. There are some technical frame rate issues and the game doesn't feel very inspired. Unless you're a huge fan of college baseball, I'd keep this game in the dugout.
Now, you've got some pretty good, cast members in Blood Rain, especially. You got Ben Kingsley.
Prepare to witness the beginning of the new era.
Gandhi, Academy Award-winning actor to do a video game film. How did you pull that off?
He told me, actually, he wanted to play a vampire.
Right.
And it's like his children's dream. And so he liked it, and he read the script from Gwyn Turner, and she wrote American Psycho before, so he checked her credits, and he really liked it, and he didn't even know that it was based on a video game.
Right. Really? Wow.
Yeah, we told him there after he came to Romania.
That's pretty funny. So he has to come to Romania. I mean, does he just have to come for 1 or 2 days and makes a ton of money to do it? Or, I mean, what's the appeal to him?
No, he was actually like 4 weeks there. And after our show, he went to Prague, where he shot Oliver Twist.
Uwe Boll to Roman Polanski, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good company, right?
Yeah, why not? And if the movies would be so bad, why I get the best cast of video game-based movies at all?
So just the script then, do you think?
Nice form.
Finally, we agree on something.
No, I think it is a problem that the people expecting something different.
Right.
Yeah. So it is. If I do Blood Rain, I want to make a bloody vampire movie where rain turns into blood rain. I explain.
And she's topless.
Yeah, and she's topless and everything. So, but she's sucking blood out of people. She's people. She's doing like what you have in the game.
Right.
And I think this is super important that we're not out to do a commercial movie. And I don't get why, especially the game people, are hating me for it. Yeah?
Right.
Why they don't hate Elektra or Catwoman, where we would never see these girls are never topless.
Right.
They never would have sex. They never even suck blood out of people like Kate Beckinsale in Underworld. Yeah?
Right.
So I don't know what they want, but normally I'm a big film fan on my own.
Right.
And I would go in my movies because I think, they are brutal, they are sexy, they are dark, they are disturbing, and all my movies don't have a nice happy ending or something.
Right.
I always try to do something to surprise the people or to make it a little bitter or whatever.
Coming up next, we check out everyone's favorite robot, Disney battles the Heartless, and later, I pull out the online petition for Uwe to stop directing.
We're taking any part in the creation of feature films.
Here's a GameHead fact. Blood Rain, the game put out by Majesco, made $11.3 million. The movie reportedly cost twice that amount to make and only made $1.5 million during its opening weekend. Let's hope the DVD sales will help pay off Ben Kingsley's salary.
Spike the Ball Weekend, all Super Bowl weekend, and it kicks off Thursday at 10, only on Spike TV.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to GameHead. I'm still here with Uwe Boll, the director of many video game films. We've made it to Romar Entertainment, the distributor of Blood Rain. Does it piss you off, though, that, all these people are so vocal that they're, calling you, like, the next Ed Wood and all this kind of stuff?
It's great. Look, the problem for me is I personally like Ed Wood. Right. Not only because of the Johnny Depp movie, I think he was a guy, he tried it.
Yeah.
And he fulfilled his dream or whatever.
Yeah.
He failed in the end and he was bankrupt and everything, but he was looking to get it made, to make a movie, even with 2 kitchen chairs and trying to be in a spaceship. And I have more respect for Ed Wood as for all the guys writing only in the internet and sitting there in the houses of where mommy still pays everything.
Yeah.
So there's the thing, I have respect for Ed Wood. If someone says Uwe is like Ed Wood, and so what?
Right, so let's head on up to the office and talk more about video game movies, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
The little blue guy that shoots white pellets is back. Of course, I'm talking about Mega Man, the classic Nintendo character from Capcom, who gets resurrected for the Mega Man Collection X for the PS2 and GameCube. Keep in mind that this is not a collection of the regular Mega Man games. You have to pick up the Mega Man Anniversary Collection for that. Instead, this is a package of 6 games from the lesser-known X series. What's the difference? Well, these games are a bit darker and tell the tale of the battle between Mega Man's Maverick Hunters and the Reploid army headed by Sigma. But otherwise, you get the same addictive 2D side-scrolling action. The package also lets you play an unreleased Mega Man go-kart game for the PlayStation called Battle and Chase. There was a reason why this wasn't released. Overall, the games do feel dated, but if you're looking to relive the 90s, put on some Right Said Fred and pick up this collection.
Okay, we made it inside the offices of Romar Entertainment, and now we're in these nice big, almost like Matrix-style chairs, right? With
yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
I want to do a movie like Braveheart, Gladiator, Lord of the Rings, this kind of stuff.
Epic.
And yeah, and Dungeon Siege is a great game, and it's an ongoing franchise, and it has Microsoft supporting it and distributing it. So I talked with Gas Power Games.
Chris Taylor?
Yeah, and we made a deal. He's from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Also. And I think we developed a very, very good script out of it, and they are very happy with it, and we got unbelievable cast, and we made a big, big, epic movie.
You line up those casts, someone told you sort of wait until the last minute to see who's available, because that's the best way to get the actors sometimes?
Right. So
how does that work?
The question is for me, how can we pay so much money they're asking for?
Right.
And I don't do that. And this is the thing. So I look out for the big names, which they like the project, but also they have no other offers right now.
Yeah.
And then they jump into the movie.
Burt Reynolds, he'd be sitting in his pool if he wasn't doing Dungeon Siege, right?
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2, Square Enix's follow-up to the wildly successful Kingdom Hearts, once again blends Final Fantasy-style RPG action with your favorite Disney movies and characters like Captain Jack Sparrow. Besides battling the Heartless once again, you face off against a new enemy, a mummy-wrapped ruler of a mysterious origin. Look for my review of Kingdom Hearts 2 soon. It comes out at the end of March for PS2. Coming up next on GameHead, Uwe makes Katamari the movie, and we preview Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, and still to come, Major League Baseball 2K6 teaches Derek Jeter a thing or two about gaming. Plus, our Game of the Week is all in the sword.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're talking about video game movies, and I'm with Uwe Boll, who's done a lot of big video game movies, the new Blood Rain film, and the new Dungeon Siege movie coming out later this year, right? What we've got here is we got a little device that's going to show some footage of some of my favorite games of the past couple of years, and I want to see if you think they're going to make good movies. They make them in. So we've got Prince of Persia here is the first one we're looking at. Now this is a, have you played this game?
Yeah, I played it. I thought that Jerry Bruckheimer has the right.
Oh, wow.
I don't know now, but...
Do you think he might come to you to direct it, or...?
No, I don't think so. I think Michael Bay will do it.
Oh, Michael Bay? That's right.
I don't know.
Who do you think would make a good prince? An actor.
Viggo Mortensen.
What about for the princess? Any ideas?
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. Tara Reid come back?
Don't tell me again. Paris Hilton, maybe.
Paris would be. I bet you Paris would do a movie for it, right?
I'm sure that Tara Reid will come for free if you have Paris Hilton. So you have the two girls.
Maybe throw Lindsay Lohan in there too?
Yeah, they have a lot of fun as a director.
Right.
No movie in the end, but...
Right. We have a lot of fun with them, right?
a lot of martinis.
All right, next one we're going to take a look at here is Metal Gear Solid from Hideo Kojima.
I think to make a movie out of it would be great. I actually got a script 2 weeks ago for it.
Oh, really?
From like people from France. They talk to Konami about the movie right now.
Oh, really?
And I don't know what is, maybe it's all...
All right, so here's another one. This is a Namco game. Oh, this is Katamari. But basically what you do in this one is you roll around this ball that collects stuff.
Yeah.
In a, it's sort of a, it's a Japanese game. Think this might make an interesting movie?
Not really, huh?
Wouldn't make a good movie, I guess, right? I don't know, but you know, if some big actor wants to do it.
Eddie Murphy again.
Eddie Murphy?
He did fat people in the Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor?
So you can use the same costume, putting some wheels on him, and then we start rolling him.
Shoot up in Vancouver, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Labor tax.
Metal Gear Solid is one of the greatest PlayStation franchises ever made, but designer Hideo Kojima has never added online play. That is, until now with Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. In this 3-disc set, you get the complete version of the smash hit Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with a new feature, an over-the-shoulder camera mode which makes the gameplay similar to Splinter Cell. Subsistence also comes packed with emulated versions of the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. The graphics are pretty primitive, but it's fun to see just how far the series has come. But let's get to the big feature, online play. You get to play Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch, plus there's sneaking, capture, and rescue missions. That's right, you can play as Snake and your friends as guards trying to hunt you down. The gameplay is the same as MGS3, and up to 6 players can face off online. Normally I'd say this is a game only for Metal Gear diehards, but this package is only $29, which means it should attract new fans as well. Look for MGS3 Subsistence in stores this March.
What I heard with the Meatloaf scene, I was reading something about how apparently you actually hired like real prostitutes to be in the scene with him. Is that true?
Yeah, it's cheaper. So it's we shot that movie in Romania, and the reality is like in Romania, like the extras or whatever, or the actresses are not really good. Yeah. So and so you have and you have a scene where Meatloaf is actually in the bed with 8 naked women, and as a big vampire chief. So and then what you do? You need naked women. So we hired basically prostitutes to do it, and it paid off. They look good, to be honest. So.
And they're cheap, right?
Absolutely, $50 per woman, like for the whole day. So what should I say? It was super cheap, and even Meatloaf had a lot of fun. Yeah, and during the rehearsals, and
especially afterwards. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
tough when you're lonely in Romania, right?
Yeah, and it's my favorite scene of the movie.
Next on GameHead.
Now, Jason Statham is out of his mind, and Ray Liotta and Burt Reynolds and Christian Slater and Ben Kingsley, they're all idiots because they work with Uwe.
And Derek Jeter talks about MLB 2K6.
I didn't even know it was called mocap.
Plus, our Game of the Week goes soul-searching. Here's a GameHead fact. Burt Reynolds holds the record for the longest-running top 10 box office star 13 years in a row. So there's still hope. Perhaps the combination of Burt and Uwe will make a Dungeon Siege Tale a top 10 hit. Maybe.
20 Nice Soft Chew, a whole new way to go bold.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. This week, it's all about video game movies, and I'm here with the infamous Uwe Boll, who has done a lot of video game movies, some of the people on the internet don't seem to like, right?
Yeah, what should I do?
What should you do?
I'm not looking like Brad Pitt, so maybe I would get better reviews if I looked better. I don't know. So, but I tried my best.
Oh, and now you're moving beyond directing. You're also going to write the Postal film, which is sort of a big step forward for you, I guess, right?
Yeah, maybe I turn it all around with Postal. See what the fans.
And this is more sort of a satire or comedy. We're saying you have Osama bin Laden in the movie.
Yeah, he lives in Arizona. Right. It's proven. And so we
have. What is he doing in Arizona? Just hanging out?
Yeah, absolutely. He has his Taliban training camps there.
Okay.
It's a harsh movie, but it's a satire, like a Falling Down with Michael Douglas. This kind of movie, but in a mood where people can laugh about it. Where you go in a bank and there are like 20 counters, but only one counter is open.
Yeah.
And everybody else eats sandwiches. Right. And now you have to make the decision: did I wait in the row forever? Or should I shoot maybe everybody and I'm first in the line? So this is the whole Postal idea, and I'm excited to do that. And I think, to be honest, no studio would ever do that movie.
Right.
And so this is a chance. Gary Coleman will be in it, and we will have a lot of cool music in it. I think America needs Postal. We're actually writing in, like, there's a lot in the internet, for example, that I use Nazi gold. Right. As a German to produce all my movies. Yeah, it's like a big rumor out of it, and we think about actually getting that as a theme in Postal, that I actually doing it. Exactly, that I'm finding that, and with my grandpa Hitler and all that stuff.
That's not true, right?
Yeah,
no, okay. You know what? Those game fans, they go Postal on here.
Yeah, I know. So they could be all. I wrote it. Everybody can be an extra in Postal.
The Red Sox were the story in 04, the White Sox in 05. But what's the big story for this season? No, not the Cubs, but MLB 2K6, the only Major League Baseball game out there for every console. The guys at 2K Sports have completely revamped the animation system. The game uses pure motion physics to drive all the new animations. That means you'll see more variety in running the bases, throwing, and fielding. There's even player-to-player collision, so make sure to call for the ball when you settle up under those pop-ups. To help make the animation even more realistic, cover athlete Derek Jeter recently went to 2K Sports in San Diego to shoot the mocap for the game.
This is my first motion capturing thing. I didn't even know it was called mocap, so I'm learning as we go.
The showdown between pitcher and batter has also been revamped with the swing stick. Here, the right analog gives you precise control over power swings and bunts. And there's also online play, which lets you track stats, have your own buddy list, and participate in online leagues. MLB 2K6 is certainly hoping for the Grand Slam when it comes out this March, right in time for spring training.
Right, but they have like those, like, you know, those like petitions or whatever, like that. Yeah, I printed out. It's like that's petition.
Stop making movies.
Yeah, we the undersigned respectively ask that Uwe Boll give proper weight to the wishes of the video game community, the horror community, and the film-going community, and stop directing, producing, or taking any part in the creation of feature films.
Yeah, look, but who is creating it?
Right.
These are creating people that are maybe not even working in the game industry.
Right.
Let's say it this way, and only because they play games at home, they think they have something to say. But what should I say? Yeah.
Right. Well, it's like, his ham-fisted approach to horror has soiled future possibilities for anyone else who may attempt to bring video games to film. We ask him to stop directing, producing, or taking any part in the creation of feature films. His distasteful handling of the subject matter and lack of acknowledgement of his failures simply cannot be abided any longer.
Yeah, look, I should sign
That's
it.
pretty damning commendation, right?
Yeah, I know, but I have to live with it. And,
But they've got 5,500 people who signed that.
It's modern to trash me in that way, yeah.
Right.
And it's like if you go on IMDb,
pile-on mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go on IMDb, there are a lot of people in the internet. They're actually writing like, I don't even know who Uwe Boll is, but it's fun. Who knows what happens in the future? I know I made I made one movie is better after as the other ones from before. Blood Rain is way better, and I hope a lot of people checking out Blood Rain. And Dungeon Siege is even better as Blood Rain. So let's see what's going on.
All right, well, now it's time to take a look at this week's Game of the Week. And if you guys don't like it, well, put up an online petition. Here at GameHead, we pride ourselves on being timely with our reviews. But sometimes a game from a couple months ago grabs our attention, and this week it's Soul Calibur 3 for the PS2 from Namco. The Soul Calibur series has always been known for great 3D fighting with weapons like one-eyed swords and nunchucks. In this latest version, you fight onboard pirate ships and inside Chinese temples with some killer moves and 4-button fighting action. There are new characters as well, such as Setsuka, a Japanese femme fatale with a lovely parasol that conceals a perfectly sharpened blade of death. Namco tries to add some new features like the Chronicle of the Sword mode, which is a real-time strategy game where you move armies around a map and engage in combat. It doesn't quite work. More successful is the character creation mode, where you build your own fighter. I wonder what Uwe's character would look like. While it's disappointing that Soul Calibur doesn't have online play, it's still a very polished and fluid fighting game that's worth checking out. All right, well, that wraps it up for this week's GameHead. Uwe, thanks for joining us and being an honest man and taking on those internet fans.
No problem.
I appreciate it. All right, well, that's it for this week's GameHead. Make sure to tune in next week for all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. I know the game. Do you?
Gotta take down a global network of human traffickers, crack a few skulls. Gonna be a good day. The world television premiere of Out of Reach. Tomorrow at 8. Only on Spike.
Coming up tonight on GameHead, we're here in New York City to hang out with fashion entrepreneur Mark Echo. We're going to talk about his brand new game, Getting Up Contents Under Pressure. He's going to give us a tour of his amazing facility here. And we're also going to talk about controversy in video games. Are video games art or not? Well, Mark has some interesting thoughts on that. And he also has some thoughts on video game reviewers like me. Are we too nasty? We'll find out next, right here on GameHead, plus all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. Tonight on GameHead, we've got a preview of Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers and an exclusive look at Star Wars Empire at War. Plus, reviews of Torino 2006, The Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, and Samurai Showdown 5. Hey everybody, welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're here in New York with this man, Mark Echo. Blah! And we're here at Echo Enterprises.
That's right, man. How you doing?
Good. Now, people probably wouldn't think we'd be talking about fashion and clothes here, but you do all that. We've also got something new. You've got a video game coming out on Tuesday, right?
That's right. That's right. Getting Up Contents Under Pressure comes out Tuesday the 14th. 8-year labor of love, finally giving birth.
That's cool. So how do you go from doing, fashion to video games?
Well, you know, I've never considered myself the conventional kind of fashion designer in the Mr. Lauren, Mr. Armani sense of the word.
Right.
You know, I'm a guy who, you know, left Rutgers College of Pharmacy. You know, I was in love with graffiti. I was custom making t-shirts, and I was more passionate about, you know, airbrushing and illustration and making one-off t-shirts for friends in college than I was pharmacy school. And I just had these delusions of, you know, maybe I could turn this into something, turn this passion into something.
So video games weren't part of the master plan?
Not back then, not 13 or whatever, 14 years ago. Certainly, like, leather jackets were just, like, enough of an abstraction.
Wait, don't adjust your TV set. You haven't stepped into a time machine back to 1990. It just looks that way because Samurai Showdown 5 for the Xbox is a throwback to the good old days of 2D fighting in the arcades. Here you get to pick between 26 different fighters that all use weapons. So how many of them are new? Well, there are 11 in total, including Yoshi Tora, who wields 7 swords, and the archer Mina. The gameplay is, well, straight out of the 90s. That means plenty of button mashing and features like the Rage Gauge, which lets you unleash death combos for extreme damage. My favorite feature is called Combination 1, which comes in really handy when you're on the brink of defeat. At that exact point, you can slow down your opponent and attempt to deliver a massive blow. It's also kind of cool that the game features full online support for head-to-head battles over Xbox Live. But that cutting-edge feature aside, Samurai Showdown 5 sure feels dated by today's standards. I'd suggest that you save your quarters on this one.
You know, when I approach the gaming business, contrary to, you know, cynics out there that might say, like, he bought his way in, but that wasn't the case. I mean, you know, you're close to this. The barrier to enter, to make a game, is really hard. So I really wanted to build something that could stand on its own legs. It had its own brand equity. You know, I don't believe that I was too heavy-handed with utilizing, let's say, what's in this room to market that. Like, it's not like tons of rhinoceros all over, you know, rhinos over it.
Like you get a free demo with every, you know, track jacket you buy.
No, it's not the case at all. I really wanted to bring something that was unique and maybe a little blue sky, maybe a little ambitious. You know, you want to touch the sky, it's a dangerous thing to do, you know? But I had that ambition to do it with this project.
You know, there's still so few games I think really do that right now. And it's like, but then you see the 50-cent game, you know, going selling 1 million copies.
Yeah,
and you're like,
it's amazing.
So it's just sort of like one of those things where, you know, obviously there is an audience there that's going to buy something.
Well, I think they approach the medium differently. What I think gamers have to realize is that it's not a monolithic thing. She's not a virgin anymore, okay? She went to the prom. She's not a virgin. Just let her go.
From THQ and Pandemic Studios comes Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers. The sequel to Full Spectrum Warrior, this hard-hitting squad-based strategy game uses genuine battlefield tactics. You lead a squad of coalition forces battling insurgents in a fictitious Middle Eastern country, and you direct multiple infantry fire teams and take them through a series of hostile environments. The sequel's a lot like the original, but with some really key interface improvements. Controlling your 2 fire teams is easier. You can now order one team to move to an area that only the other team can see. Other new commands are Precision Fire, a scout movement command that allows you to send 1 man forward, and you're now able to split a single 4-man team into 2 separate groups. Other gameplay changes include the ability to enter buildings to use upper floors as a firing position. A new radio menu lets you call in artillery and air support to really hammer the bad guys. Heck, some missions will even let you control land-based vehicles like Bradleys or Humvees. The multiplayer feature has also been updated. The original game just had co-op play, but the sequel finally includes a head-to-head versus mode where US forces go up against insurgents. Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers is coming March 22nd to PC, PS2, and Xbox. Coming up next, we test the devil with this special edition. Mark gives Roger Ebert a shout-out.
Roger Ebert.
And later we have the televised premiere of Star Wars Empire at War.
Your game sucked, Curtis.
Girls Gone Wild games for only $9.99. Use your credit card and get co-ed tryouts absolutely free. Call now 1-800-710-1802 or see more action now at girlsgonewild.com.
Hey, I'm here with Kat, who was the graffiti consultant on Getting Up Contents Under Pressure. What about the whole argument that, you know, it's just vandalism and it's like,
some of it is vandalism. Some of it is, some of it isn't. But I think it needs to be limited. I think, you know, if you hate your president, Right. You know, and they're not listening to your emails and your phone calls. You might have to go write about it in the streets.
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, our society needs
a lot of George Bush tags around, right?
A lot of George Bush tags.
We gotta go find those.
He's inspired the whole graffiti movement.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. We're here in New York with Mark Echo. He's got a new game, Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure, coming out. And also working with 50 Cent on G-Unit Clothing.
That's correct.
Thank God he didn't work on that 50 Cent Bulletproof. I'm just hating on that game.
You are hating on it. Let me get Curtis.
What we got? This is where G-Unit happens?
Well, this is where it happens. Come on in.
This is
see if he's not here.
G-Unit Central? I know. I'm a little scared now. But my review is pretty tough on
You don't know that this is supposed to be a surprise. I think the key thing to realize is that this medium, much like I was making the joke about the girl going to the prom, until gaming could really be as powerful and as relevant as film or more, there needs to be a way that the editorial community realizes that it could come in different shapes, sizes, and shades.
I think sometimes the games are like, it's so objective whether like a game is fun to play or not. Yeah. So it's like even where you have 50 Cent or other cool stuff, it's like when the game is fundamentally broken about how you play it. But I think some gamers look at it and say, it's like, it could be so much better if it was just like, better to control.
I agree.
Like,
I don't disagree.
If you look at like something, you can say, yeah, you got to, plus it would be better. So it's like it sold 1 million, but it could have sold 5 million. It's that much better. Right?
I agree, and I totally agree.
And that's why Getting Up is not going to have that problem.
Well, I mean, God willing, no.
It's done now, Mark.
Yeah, it's done. It's too late.
Sailed, right?
So they will use this footage against me.
One way to look at the special edition of Devil May Cry 3 is to call it an apology from Capcom. Why is that? Well, the devil was in the details with the original because it was incredibly challenging. But thankfully, this new version reduces the overall difficulty and also adds some new features, not to mention a $20 price point. First released last year, DMC3 is a prequel to the original game and focuses on Dante, the offspring of a human mother and a dastardly devil father. With 6 different fighting styles, this third-person action game features incredible action, where Dante can use weapons such as guns and a rebellion sword to whack those demons. The special edition is the same game as before, with one big difference. Now when Dante dies, he reappears at a checkpoint as opposed to having to start a level again from the beginning. The other addition is the ability to play through the game as Virgil, Dante's twin who wields a quick-draw samurai sword. The bad news is that instead of redoing the story from Virgil's perspective, Capcom just cut out all the cutscenes. Overall, this is a really well-executed action game. If you didn't check it out in 2005, there's no reason why you shouldn't at least rent this special edition for the PS2.
This last summer, we did an event here in Manhattan over on 22nd Street between 10th and 11th, I believe it was. What we were doing is we were painting on these 48-foot long by 9 or I think it was 8 or 9 foot tall replicas of 1980 subway cars. Oh, cool. Right. What happened is the city they revoked our permit and they said they'd only let us do it if we agreed to cover them in a canvas. Newsflash, my daughter's 3 years old. Okay, she can't say the word, any word like graffiti, it's too many syllables. Right. She could say poopy and, Elmo and a bunch of other words, but if you give her a crayon at 3, she could figure out how to write on a wall. And sure enough, I sued the city and the mayor, and they gave us permits back. And I think there's in much like gaming, graffiti, mainstream media that struggle to understand it often want to throw the baby away with the bathwater.
It's like, I remember Roger Ebert was going to this whole thing about how, since there's not one author of it and you direct the experience, it can't be art, stuff like that.
Have you ever read a book? Books do the same thing.
I read a book, yes.
Okay, but books do the same thing in your brain. How is it different? It's another medium.
I agree with you.
Them.
Right. Blur this out. Pixelate it. That's for you, Roger Ebert, right there.
You,
right.
Roger Ebert. Go get another stomach tuck or whatever the you did. All testosterone is drawn out of your body. You look like a freak.
Video games are art.
Coming up next, the tour of Mark's studio continues, and we have the televised premiere of Star Wars Empire at War. And still to come, this week's head start on video game news, and our Game of the Week gets a ticket to Italy.
Man, I'm on TV, yo.
Here's a GameHead fact. Regardless of my thoughts on 50 Cent Bulletproof's gameplay, the PS2 game made it into the top 100 of 2005, coming in at number 39 and generating about $23 million.
Spike premiere of Austin Powers, Thursday at 9 on Spike.
Them new sailors use condoms, baby.
All right, GameHead has come outside in chilly New York City, and I'm hanging with graffiti legends. We got T-Kid and Cope, who are both in Getting Up Contents Under Pressure, and also the creators of this very cool wall behind us.
This particular wall, we got the YMI crew to get down with us and stuff. They had a concept where they saw pieces like, our pieces are floating up in the sky, and everything is like looking down from heaven, looking down at, you know, Earth.
Hey, thanks for coming back to GameHead. We're talking about fashion now. We're talking about video games this week with Mark Echo, and he's got his new game, Getting Up, coming out. And now this is a cool game because you've got, you know, a lot of cool cultural things happening in this game, and you wanted to be authentic with it.
Yes.
And you know a little bit about graffiti. You said, you know, you
A little
did
bit.
a little tagging. I did a little tagging actually back.
Did you? Really? What'd you tag?
I tagged a wall in the collective's office.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that good. But you.
Toy.
But you worked with some cool graffiti guys, I know, on this game, right?
Yeah,
to make sure
yeah.
that it was authentic.
Yeah, and a good friend by the name of Alan Kett, and he brought on, you know, I started.
Whole team, right?
He's brought on a whole slew of guys to help. Cope, T-Kid, Scene, Smith, Futura, and Shepard Fairey. All guys that in their own ways are indisputably like legends in terms of what they've done for the culture.
On February 16th, LucasArts is releasing its new game, Star Wars Empire at War. This strategy game for the PC allows the player to take control of the war for the entire Star Wars galaxy. Do you want to dominate the galaxy and crush the Rebel Alliance at its roots, or free it from the clutches of the power-hungry Empire? Well, in this game, you can do both by playing as either side. Set before the events of Episode 4, this game gives you the chance to command your troops on the ground as well as massive fleets in space. There's also a galactic map for planning your strategic maneuvers in real time. With battles focused on action-packed combat rather than tedious resource gathering, players can jump right into the battle. This game stays true to the battle scenes from your favorite Star Wars movies, or you can create your own stories. Massive ships go toe-to-toe while groups of fighters zip around in their own battles. In other words, you can recreate Star Wars history or change it forever. May the Force be with you when Star Wars Empire at War hits stores on February 16th.
You've got graffiti guys. You've also got pretty cool music.
Yes.
Where P. Diddy's involved with this, right?
Yes,
The
yeah.
soundtrack. Tell me
Yeah.
about how did that come about?
I had connected with Puff on a couple of things, told him about the project, showed him stuff, and he was really excited. He was, you know, he's like, I'll help. You know, how can I help? And it just was like this real give-take thing. He helped deliver George Hamilton, who plays the mayor of New Radius.
Wow.
Yeah, I was riffing with Puffy one day in his office.
How does he get George Hamilton? They're just
He's like,
buddies?
he's like, I just was with George Hamilton.
Right.
I mean, really, 6 degrees of separation, like weird, like you would never suspect, but he was. And I remember being at E3 and on the phone with Puff, and he's like, get a mini studio up to like the Treasure Island in Vegas, like within the next 8 hours, because George is ready to record. And that's what we did. In addition, I had hooked up with RJD2, who's very, very important to the game. And you can unlock all of this, about 60 minutes of original RJD2 music. Then there's licensed music as well.
That's cool. Yeah, that's exciting. You've got you got the graffiti, you got the music,
yeah,
you got the voice cast,
yeah,
and you got the game, right?
Yes, got the game, got the code. Yes.
The code's good?
Look at the hater already. What's with you guys? All you guys are so pissy. There's a cynicism. There's like this, what is with you guys? What is with, put the Red Bull down, all right? All the haters, put down the Red Bull, take it easy, all right? It's just a game.
Still to come on GameHead, Mark talks about his future in the industry.
So will they all be like Mark Echo Presents?
We give you a weekly head start, and our Game of the Week gets a gold medal. Here's a GameHead advantage for Star Wars Battlefront 2. On the planet Hoth, play Hunt Mode as a Wampa. Pause the game and hold L2 and R2, and input up, down, left, right. How? Who knew Star Wars could be so comical?
The Revolution.
I've been painting since '74. He's been painting since late '70s.
You can see this is the C over here. This is the O. Here goes the P. And here goes the E.
You know, I got this smooth style where, you know, it's very legible. There's a T, there's the K, this is the I, this is the D. Very simple. Yeah. Nothing dramatic. You know, I concentrated more on what's behind and everything, man. You know, and basically this is what I give Train.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. I'm with Mark Echo at his vast empire here in New York City. Yes, and it's even vaster now that we've got Echo Unlimited Games.
That's correct. Yeah.
So video games. You got your own division now for this?
Yeah.
You're not messing around.
I'm not messing around.
You're this guy parachuting in just to do a game, do a little press, and take off.
I really like. You know, how many times do I gotta tell you? I love the media. I really am serious about it.
Getting Up was all graffiti culture.
Yeah.
Would you want to do like future games? You want to do all about that kind of culture, or do you want to do like expand and do other stuff?
I think you could expect a really wide, eclectic range of stuff from us.
So will they all be like Mark Echo Presents?
No, not
Game
necessarily.
Okay.
No, nope.
Interesting.
No. This was because this was my IP. I mean, I wrote it.
Here's your head start on the latest game industry chatter. Gaming blog Kotaku.com is reporting Halo 3 for the Xbox 360 won't be released in 2006 as previously thought, but will more likely be released in the summer of 2007 to coincide with the release of the Halo film, executive produced by Lord of the Rings mastermind Peter Jackson. West Virginia has reached an agreement with Konami to use Dance Dance Revolution in its public schools to attack their youth obesity problem. No word, though, on whether West Virginia will also make kids in detention suffer through playing 25 to life. Climbing out from under a rock, the city of Los Angeles has filed a $10 million lawsuit against Take-Two Interactive Software. The city alleges that Take-Two engaged in unfair business practices by covering up the hot coffee pornographic material in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to avoid the adults-only rating. In other Take-Two news, the New York Post is reporting that Bono of U2 fame is one step closer to purchasing the controversial video game company through his private equity firm, Elevation Partners. Last year, Elevation acquired game developers Pandemic Studios and BioWare, makers of games like Full Spectrum Warrior and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Rupert Murdoch's a big media player.
Well,
Steve Jobs is a big media player.
It all started with one little spark.
I'm 33, so I got some time. No, it's about content. You know, there's, it sounds probably really hokey or corny, maybe even to the viewer, but really that's what it's about to me. It's really, if you're going to be a lifestyle brand, you have to exist and, you have to be 360 degrees around the consumer's lifestyle experiences. And you can't be a voyeur. You can't just buy a billboard somewhere and make it happen. Today's day and age with so much community built around consumption, you really have to be someone who's contributing. You can't
something that's memorable, right?
Something, contribute a little. Change. Turn over a rock, discover something. That's really what that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years.
All right. Well, I've been talking about all these nasty game reviewers.
Yes.
Right.
And I guess I'm nasty. Just you're the nasty one.
Well, we'll see how nasty I am this week.
Keep your body language open.
It's open.
I want you to
and
like
I'm open
me.
for this week's game of the week. Check it out.
He doesn't know what it is.
The Winter Olympics of 2006. There are so many questions. Will Michelle Kwan finally take gold? Will Bodie Miller become America's hero? And most importantly for us gameheads, will the official video game of Torino 2006 suck? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. We're not talking bronze medal performance here, guys. This is DNF 0.0, disqualification on a technicality, bad gameplay.
Okay, all you video gamers out there, it's time to put down the controller and head out to the movies. Now you can get the same chills and thrills from playing your favorite shoot-'em-up game by watching the film version of the video game Silent Hill. Let's see if you can guess who will be the first to die in this petrifying peak.
Honey, sometimes when you go to sleep, you go on a little walk, and sometimes you talk about a place. I don't remember. That's why we're gonna go there, so you can remember.
Christopher, Sharon's gone. I need your help. I'm not okay. Please, hurry.
The fire started 30 years ago.
I don't know what's happening. Do you know what's going on here?
This place is completely cut off.
Only the dark one opens and closes the door to Silent Hill.
Where is she? I'm trying to find my wife.
She looks exactly like Sharon.
Why?
Rose, come on! Rose, hurry! It's coming!
What's happening?
Oh!
To find your daughter, you must face the darkness of hell.
It's okay, baby. Mommy's coming.
Tonight, the Regilution will be televised. I'm hanging with Nintendo of America's main man, Reggie, to talk all about the Nintendo Revolution that's coming out later this year, the Nintendo DS, and The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the GameCube. We're gonna have a lot of fun with Reggie. We're gonna talk about the crazy Nintendo fan culture that's out there. You won't believe what some people are doing on the internet about Reggie and his whole Regilution. I'm also gonna go go-kart racing with him. Is he gonna kick my ass and take my name? Find out next on GameHead, plus all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews.
Tonight on GameHead, we review two big Xbox 360 games, Full Auto and Fight Night Round 3. We've got the exclusive premiere of the opening for Tomb Raider Legend, and previews of The Sims 2 Open for Business and Rumble Roses XX.
Hey everybody, and welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're here in Las Vegas, Nevada, to talk all about the house that Super Mario built, Nintendo. Great company, old school games, we love them. And joining me now, look who it is. It's Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo.
Reggie, welcome. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Quite the entrance there. Right?
Hey, you know, gotta love it.
That's a little Mario Kart inspired, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's good. So welcome to Vegas.
It's good to be here.
Good to be here. And 2006, big year for Nintendo, right?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of great stuff going on.
Well, it's great to have you here because you've sort of become the face of Nintendo in America. Everyone loves you. You had this grand entrance at E3. Everyone remembers. You famously came out. You said, "Hi, I'm Reggie. You know, I'm all about," what is it?
I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games.
And that was a pretty bold statement.
It was a bold statement. And you know what? It was very deliberate. You know, new guy on the block. I'd been with the company for about 4 months. And really, Nintendo was all about needing to wake up our fans, wake up the industry, and let folks know, you know, we're here to drive the business.
More names taken or more asses kicked?
You know, my people would tell you it's more asses kicked, but we've had a lot of fun.
If you've ever wondered what it would be like to be a gasoline-powered bull in an outdoor china shop, Full Auto from Sega for the Xbox 360 answers that question in a big, destructive way. This combat racing game is basically Burnout, but with weapons. A bit of Prince of Persia is also thrown in because the game's Unwreck feature lets you rewind your race at any time to redo a corner, or better yet, avoid a crash. The game boils down to lots of fast-paced racing with weapons like machine guns or a smokescreen, which you drop out of the back of your car. The level of destruction is certainly impressive, but I wish they would have included some more inventive weapons. The single-player portion is fun for a while, but the destruction does get repetitive because the race courses all play the same. The graphics are stunning, but it's hard to justify spending $60 on Full Auto unless you're a huge fan of action racing. And no matter what, please, don't send us the insurance bill.
Well, that's cool. So now, obviously, you've been in Nintendo for the past couple of years. You sort of, you know, revolutionized, I think, what Nintendo's been about here in America. You had the Nintendo DS, you got the Revolution coming out this year. And you got these crazy fans who love you, right?
Yes, yes we do. Yes, we do. The fans are great, you know, and I have to tell you a story. So after E3, I immediately go into interviews and other meetings I get a phone call from my son, who's now 16 years old, telling me, "Dad, you're famous. You've got all these things on the web." And I'm like, "You're kidding me." I didn't know what was going on, and then we had all these fan sites and all this information floating around coming from that one speech.
And they called it the Regulution,
They
right?
called it the Regulution. They called me the Reginator. It was pretty fun.
And you saw him, and did all these parodies of sort of different movies, and I put you in Pulp Fiction, Star Wars, the Hulk. I saw the big Reggie face.
The big
Hulk.
Reggie face on the Hulk. The one I love most is a picture of me with laser beams coming out of my eyes, blowing up an Xbox and a PlayStation. That was pretty fun.
You do that in real life?
I do it in real life. They don't let me into retailers anymore because I keep blowing up all the competition.
For all you guys wondering what it's like to be a woman, an upcoming release from Konami makes your fantasy come true. Rumble Roses XX is not only the first wrestling game for the Xbox 360, it's also the first all-female wrestling game. So you thought that Lindsay Lohan Scarlett Johansson catfight was hot? Wait until you see these wrestlers go at it. They're bending and contorting their bodies all over the place as part of tag team, three-way, and even four-way wrestling. You can even tag team online. Also look out for a create-a-player mode, which lets you customize your own wrestlers' various body parts. You can even pick their hairstyle and outfit, and yes, the G-string is an option. Of course, jiggling high-def body parts aside, the original Rumble Roses seem to be more focused on the girls than the gameplay. We'll see if Konami can get the gameplay right when Rumble Roses XX comes out in late March for the Xbox 360. Coming up next on GameHead, Reggie weighs Nintendo in as a heavy hitter.
We're outselling them somewhere around 4-3.
We preview The Sims 2 Open for Business with an exclusive scenario created by the Maxis team, and later we get an exclusive look at the new face of Lara Croft.
Well, Jeff's the man who's known going behind the biggest and brightest games. Wow, Reggie's known mostly for kicking ass and taking some names, yeah.
Rich Frank.
We're going down.
Pros vs. Joes premieres Monday, March 6th at 10. You suck. Only on Spike TV.
Okay, I'm here with Jonathan Mann, the creator of the Super Mario Opera.
That's right.
What's that all about? You're a huge Nintendo fan.
I'm a humongous, one of the biggest, I'd say, Nintendo fan.
Judging on your outfit.
Yeah, I'm wearing
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, for my generation, I mean, I'm 24 years old. For my generation, a little bit younger, a little bit older. There's just something really magical about Nintendo. We grew up with it, grew up playing it. It's a big deal to us.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. I'm still here with Reggie from Nintendo
Absolutely.
of America. We're hanging at the go-kart track. We're gonna get in the cars a little later, but first we gotta talk about Nintendo. Big year in 2006 and beyond for Nintendo, but a bit of a different strategy than Microsoft and Sony, right?
Absolutely. Sony and Microsoft are all about doing more of the same with more horsepower. Same type of games, but they want to own the center of the living room. They're bringing some technology to bear. We're going to have technology as well, but it's all around the gameplay. We want to bring innovation that really matters to the gamer. We want to give them new ways to play all of their old favorites, Mario, Zelda, as well as brand new games and brand new way to play those. We've got a fantastic controller that we've unveiled. We've shared it with developers. They're really excited.
That's for the Revolution, which
That's
is
for the Revolution,
system, right?
The brand new system. And it's going to be a very provocative year for us.
Yeah, some people, though, obviously, when you do something innovative and different, people always, sometimes criticize it as being a gimmick. It's like, is it going to be fun, or is it a thing that's fun for, a couple hours, but I don't want to play all my games that way? I think, people worried about that with the DS as well.
Absolutely.
But you think you've proven them wrong?
We absolutely have proven them wrong. What you just said, the gimmick, was exactly what they said about DS. And I'll tell you, if that's a gimmick, give me thousands like them, because we've done really well in the marketplace. The key part is it's about the games in the end. And if you provide the consumer a great gaming experience, they're going to buy it. They're going to love it. DS, wireless, it's been fantastic.
So, you created your virtual alter ego in The Sims 2. You took him to college for cyber education. What do you do next? Well, of course, you live the American dream and open a business. With the Sims 2 Open for Business expansion pack for the PC from Electronic Arts, you can become the next Bill Gates or Ron Popeil. Or maybe you become the next Martha Stewart or Bernie Ebbers. Either way, you'll have a lot of fun doing it. Your Sim can now create any kind of business, from a trendy clothing boutique to a beauty salon or a bustling restaurant chain. The makers of The Sims gave us this exclusive Open for Business scenario. Meet Bob. Bob hates his job, and once his boss leaves, Bob decides to pull a risky business. Well, not exactly. but he seems to be a better party host than electronics boy. You can open your virtual business on March 2nd when The Sims 2 Open for Business hits stores.
You know, there's a strategy book called Blue Ocean Strategy about the idea that, you know, other competitors sort of fight over the red waters and the blood in the water, and everyone's fighting for the same market. You guys want to be peaceful, just off in your own little corner, right?
Doing our own thing that makes sense for the consumer.
Right.
And we're doing it on Revolution, but what gives us confidence is that we've done it on DS.
Right.
You know, DS was all about 2 screens, touchscreen, voice activation, wireless, brand new technologies brought into the handheld, and it's grown great guns. We've shipped over 14 million units worldwide. We're beating our competition in every market, and we've got great games.
I got to talk to you about that competition, because they were always saying about how they were going to take you down. Actually, I pulled a quote. It was pretty funny. I got to find it, actually, but it was from Phil Harrison at Sony UK, and he was saying about how Nintendo, it's like, they shouldn't be, fighting this battle. It's like, we're going to take them down. It's not even competition. That's not quite the case, right?
Not the case at all. I mean, the fact is, on a worldwide basis, in terms of what consumers are buying, we're selling, we're outselling them somewhere around, 4 to 3 from a ratio standpoint. And not only Phil, but I think everyone in the industry really expected Sony to just blow us away. Hasn't happened. Why hasn't it happened? It's all in the games. Mario Kart, Nintendogs, Metroid Prime Hunters, brand new titles that we're launching later this year. It's all in the games.
Here they come around the bend. Jeff and Reggie, the best of friends. Who will win? Who will prevail? My God, only time will tell.
Coming up next on GameHead, Grand Theft Auto makes news headlines, Reggie sends Gates to the Big Brain Academy, and still to come, GameHead scores an exclusive on Tomb Raider Legend, and our Game of the Week knocks out the competition. Ding ding! Here's a GameHead advantage for Need for Speed Most Wanted. At the start screen, enter up, down, left, right, left, right. You've just unlocked a tasty challenge.
Austin Powers, tomorrow at 8 on Spike.
Only sailors use condoms, baby.
You've created, basically, a musical.
A musical about Mario, a rock opera in the vein of sort of Tommy or, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, that kind of sort of homegrown, just fun, rock and fun with Mario.
Where can we find out more about this rock opera that you put together?
Yeah, go to www.the-mario-opera.com and you'll find out. You see trailers, you hear clips, you see all kinds of stuff that hopefully you're really going to enjoy.
Hardcore Nintendo fans, that's where to go, and coming to a city near you soon. Right?
Hopefully.
Hey, thanks for coming back to GameHead this week. We're talking all about Nintendo. We love Nintendo. We love this guy, Reggie from Nintendo of America. So, Reggie, we got to talk about Nintendo DS, which has been a huge success in the market. That Sony PSP came out, got a lot of mind share initially. People were dazzled by some of the graphics, but you guys, are still topping the sales charts, right?
It really is true. Not only in the U.S., Europe, Japan as well. And it's been fantastic. The key games for us, obviously Mario Kart has been huge, Animal Crossing has been huge.
And Wi-Fi, which is very cool.
Wi-Fi has been fantastic. We've already had 850,000 unique consumers go on to Nintendo Wi-Fi. Right. Took Xbox Live something around 9-10 months to get to that point. We're in 15 weeks.
So, do you think longer term that, DS is going to continue to outsell the PSP? Because, a lot of people said, it's good, but I think Sony's gaining a lot more traction. They did a great month in December with PSP. Where do you think it's going to now? You guys are very close in the U.S. market right now.
In the U.S. market, we've sold through to consumers about 4 million units. They're about 3.6 based on the industry data.
You guys came out earlier. So.
We came out earlier. Do I think it's going to get any closer? Quite frankly, no. We're bringing people back into gaming. There's some new games that we're launching called the Brain Training Series, Brain Age, Big Brain Academy. Research out of Japan shows people are buying these games that haven't gamed in 10 years.
Wow.
And it's the core Nintendo fan, it's the new gamer. That's who we're bringing into the franchise.
That's what's cool about it. Actually tests, it flexes your brain, right? You're doing math equations, you're doing it. It's like an SAT almost. It's fun.
I wouldn't call it an SAT. I don't want to scare people off. But what it does is it's a treadmill for the mind.
So you don't want those Sony and Microsoft guys playing that, because maybe
I don't want them getting too smart. Phil, stay away from brain training.
That's right.
Here's your head start on the latest game industry chatter. It wouldn't be a head start without a story on more controversy surrounding Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The latest story from England's Telegraph newspaper discusses prisoners in England playing the game and using it to recreate the crimes that landed them in jail. But look on the bright side. At least they don't have a Nintendo DS, That stylus could double as a ship. Transformers, roll out. Toy company Hasbro has tapped game maker Activision to publish a game based on the new movie due in the summer of 2007 from director Michael Bay and producer Steven Spielberg. Speaking of Spielberg, remember the game based on the movie E.T.? It was universally seen as the worst Atari game ever. Well, it seems like the band Wintergreen doesn't want us to forget that, so they've immortalized E.T. in their music video, When I Wake Up. Check out this clip for a laugh from the past. For more industry news, check back next week for another edition of Head Start.
Now, what I want to ask you about is there's the rumors that there's going to be a redesigned DS. We saw in Japan they announced sort of a smaller. Now, what I want to ask you about is there's the rumors that there's going to be a redesigned DS. We saw in Japan they announced sort of a smaller, sleeker one. Is that coming to the U.S.?
It is going to come to the U.S. We haven't announced a date. It's launching in Japan in March. You know, for us, it's all about having capacity.
Right.
When we launch it, we want to make sure we have the right level of capacity because...
You don't want to be like that Xbox 360?
I don't want to be like that nasty competitive system and run out right away. So we're going to stagger our launch. We haven't announced the date, but when we have it, we'll have tons of it, likely multiple colors, and it's really sweet.
That's cool. And it's going to be same price, we think, more or less?
You know, we think that it can command a modest premium. Right now, DS is selling for $129. We haven't announced the price for this, but we think we could price up just a little bit.
So you'll keep both models, or don't want to be phased out?
The old DS likely is going to last us through August or September.
Okay.
And then it'll be all the new DS all the way through the holidays.
You got a name yet?
We call it DS Lite.
DS Lite.
And it's light because it certainly is smaller, it's more compact, weighs less, and has 4 different brightness levels on the screen, which is pretty amazing. So it's pretty sweet.
Next on GameHead, the Regilution continues. We get the Tomb Raider Legend exclusive, and our Game of the Week stings like a bee.
Reggie's bringing the heat these days. The revolution's about to start. Who knows how many hours he spent playing that old Mario Kart. So, Jeff, you better look out. Reggie just dropped the banana peel into the track. Well, this ain't no pansy go-kart racing. You better go watch your back. Oh, no!
On Monday, starting at 9. Only on Spike. Let freedom swing.
Mario the plumber thinks he is real live, flesh and blood man, but he'll find out soon enough he's part of some gamer's master plan. That's me.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. We're talking all about the Nintendo Revolution now with Reggie, the big system everyone's anticipating in 2006. But you guys are kind of secretive about it.
Yeah, that we are. We're holding a little back.
Because you don't want people to steal the ideas, right?
No, we don't want to steal the idea. We don't want to get people too hot too soon in terms of all the information out there, but it's going to be fantastic.
You don't want me to get too hot too soon?
Not you, not your team. You know, we got to calm people down.
Not those crazy fans.
Not those crazy fans.
I was in Tokyo last year. I finally got to see the amazing controller that Mr. Iwata unveiled for it, which is, I mean, how do you describe it? It's sort of like a magic wand.
It's a one-handed controller that senses all types of motion, left, right, in, out, up, down, and allows you to
have a sword fight and you're actually fighting on screen with Zelda, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about Zelda, by the way.
Sure.
Zelda Twilight Princess.
Sure.
Talk about, taking some names. They're going to take that name, Zelda. What's up with that? When is it coming out?
It's coming out this fall. It's coming out on GameCube. There's been a lot of speculation. People think that we're holding it back or that it's going to be launched just on Revolution. Right. Telling your people, not true. It's going to be on GameCube. It's going to come out in the fall.
Will be on GameCube and Revolution?
It's going to be on GameCube. The thing about Revolution is that it will take a GameCube standard disc.
Right.
So while it is going to be a title for GameCube, Twilight Princess you'll be able to play it on Revolution as well.
I mean, won't even put like an added mode where you can have a sword fight in Revolution or anything?
You know, it's a great idea. We should talk to Miyamoto about it. Right. But, right now the focus really is getting it out on GameCube. focused on what we do well. I really don't care what Xbox or Sony are up to. I really don't, because they're going against their own strategy. They're going to beat each other to a pulp. We're going down our own paths. We're the ones who are going to bring real innovation to the marketplace. If they want to play a first-person shooter in a brand new way, it's going to be on Revolution.
But you feel that, I mean, there are some games, in fairness, on, Xbox 360 and some of the stuff we've heard about for PlayStation 3 that's pretty innovative and different, don't you think? I mean, it's not like there's no innovation in those systems, right?
Absolutely.
You're saying there's not enough?
You know what? They really are going down a path of the same old thing on steroids.
Right.
I mean, that is what they're doing, essentially. I don't think that's particularly innovative. I think that what we're doing is carving a whole new path that is going to bring the core gamer a lot of enjoyment and the new gamer a lot of enjoyment.
And work up those muscles, right?
Work up those muscles, all types of different motions. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, that's fantastic. So coming late in 2006, right?
I'll tell you on May 9th.
Coming to the U.S. this year, Reggie?
Coming to the U.S. this year.
But until then, you got to play something, so check out our Game of the Week. Welcome to the next generation of video games. Fight Night Round 3 from EA for the Xbox 360 has some of the most amazing in-game graphics I've ever seen. It also delivers everything you want in a boxing simulation, including Muhammad Ali and absolutely no sign of Don King. You control your boxer using the 2 analog sticks. The left one moves the boxer and the right one throws punches. Land a right hook and your opponent's head flings back as sweat and blood flies through the air. I'd hate to be a janitor at this gym. The graphics are stunning, so much so that EA has eliminated the on-screen health bar. Instead, you read your boxer's health based on how he looks. It's a nice idea, but it's often hard to gauge how you're doing in the ring. Another neat twist is the ability to replay classic fights like the Thrilla in Manila with Ali versus Fraser. If you have an Xbox 360, this is definitely a game that you should check out. It's a knockout title that shows off the true power of the 360. All right, well, that's it for this week's GameHead. I want to thank my buddy Reggie from Nintendo. Good hanging with you, sir.
Absolutely enjoyed. Sorry about that banana peel.
It's all right, Reggie. We'll get you back, and we'll see you at E3 for all the latest news on the Revolution, right?
It's going to be a great year.
Awesome. All right, well, that's it for this week's GameHead. Thanks for tuning in. I know the game. Do you? Tonight on GameHead, I'm here in Las Vegas at the DICE Summit. This is where all the luminaries of the video game business get together to talk shop. We're talking about the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and all the hot games coming out in 2006. Plus, I've got an exclusive interview with Xbox executive Peter Moore, including the revelation of his gamer tag. All that, plus all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews coming up next, right here on GameHead. Tonight on GameHead, we review Exit for the PSP, we preview Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble for the PSP, and then we get an exclusive look at the upcoming Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for the Xbox 360. Hey everybody, and welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're here in Las Vegas at the DICE convention, which is the big think tank where all the biggest video game developers get together to talk shop, and I'm with two of the biggest video game developers out there, Richard and Robert Garriott. Mr. Xbox, Peter Moore, Game of the Year award winner, David Jaffe, Shane Kim, who's the head of Microsoft's Game Studio, one of the biggest names out there, Andy Mack, Pete from Vivendi Universal Electronic Arts, Alan Yu, Ted Price, who's head of Insomniac Games. So let's talk first about DICE for everyone at home that might not know. What is DICE to you guys?
You know, DICE is all about celebrating, celebrating innovation in the industry.
I sort of think about it as a conference for people in the industry. It's kind of like our academy.
This is a chance for really the kind of the upper echelon of game developers around the country to get together, talk shop.
The biggest thing about DICE is the exclusive nature of the development community in one place at one time. You're talking the best and the brightest minds.
It's kind of like summer camp for game makers.
What's so wonderful about DICE is, especially with the award show, last night, it's really giving recognition to the creators of excellence.
Henshin is on the go-go as Capcom's favorite celluloid hero makes his debut on the PSP in Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble. In this game, Captain Blue decides to cast his new movie not with a casting couch, but by auditioning lead actors through a series of side-scrolling battles. So to win the role, Joe and his pals have to duke it out using VFX powers, like slow motion, in scenarios which include a Western movie. The game was originally released on the GameCube, but the PSP port has one important new feature, Wi-Fi multiplayer for up to 4 players. Capcom has also mashed up the gameplay by adding Dante, the hero of Devil May Cry, as an unlockable character with his own signature moves and storyline. The GameCube version was a bit too frantic, so it remains to be seen how well the non-stop action translates to the handheld screen. You can find out for yourself on March 28th when the game ships for the PSP. I'm here with someone from outside the game industry. We're really glad to have him here, David Franzoni, who wrote films like Amistad and also Gladiator. But you're a big gamer. That's why you're here, right?
Correct. I love games.
You love games. So tell me a bit about, your perspective. You think, some people say games shouldn't be about story. They should be about, the twitch. What's your take on it?
Well, I think the twitch is necessary. I think that's what separates games essentially from films, is that the twitch is you controlling your destiny. Right. It's not about a filmmaker, a writer, and a director saying, okay, here's the hero, here's where he's going, sit down and take the ride. With games, you, in some respect, depending on the game, of course, can control the outcome of that hero's journey. And that's what I find very addictive. I think that we should be carrying that to a higher level of gaming.
That whole sort of choose your own adventure idea, that you can sort of mold the experience a little bit to what the player's doing?
Yeah, that, and also I think you have the opportunity of becoming a hero. The thing about Russell in Gladiator, for instance, Russell starts off, obviously he's a general in the Roman army, so he's cool. But he starts the real movie as a slave. Right. And battles his way back up, and he has these built-in qualities, obviously a great warrior. And I think that we all believe we have something within us that can carry us to greater heights. And in the game, you have the ability, anyway, theoretically, to create a hero from yourself.
Right. So you haven't written a game yet, though?
I'm working on a couple right now.
Okay, cool.
That I can't talk about, and I want to.
Are there any games that you look at today that you sort of think are on the right track or getting closer to that?
I love Half-Life, the original one. I love Half-Life 2, but I love Half-Life because you start off as this sort of graduate from, MIT.
This fumbling idiot, right?
And you become a hero. In the end, you save the world. And as you battle your way back up from Black Mesa, the bottom of Black Mesa, into literally outer space, you become an entirely different person, and the fate of the universe is embraced by your actions. And I think that that's a great model.
Coming up next on GameHead, David Jaffe on the future of games. Porn? A review of Exit for the PSP. Xbox executive Peter Moore talks about what could be blossoming this spring, and we find our Game of the Week in a galaxy far, far away. Here's a GameHead fact. The stock of Sony Corporation fell about 4.4% when Merrill Lynch speculated that the PS3 could be delayed 6 to 12 months. A spokeswoman for Sony said, "We're aiming for spring, but we haven't announced specific regions. April showers bring May flowers, but will the May flowers be carrying the PS3? Only time and the E3 video game convention will tell." Everybody, welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley. This week we're here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the DICE convention. It's a big convention where all the big names in the video game industry get together. And with the biggest name here at the show this year.
And the award goes to God of War. God of War.
The God of War himself, David Jaffe.
The guy who won the Interactive Achievement Award for Game of the Year, God of War, David Jaffe. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Your talk was really good yesterday. I mean,
Thanks.
Choice quote, I think, was what games are like porn, right?
I didn't say that. I did not say that. What I said was, again, what is with you crazy journalists? You pick the one thing.
That's the headline on GameSpot.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah.
Thanks, GameSpot. Anyway, what I was trying to explain is that I'm not sure where games are in terms of storytelling. I think we're seeing things more and more that indicate maybe games could actually become a great sort of medium that does merge storytelling and gameplay. So, no, I do not feel games are like porn.
Some are. Just Leisure Suit Larry.
I mean, if you mean games are like porn and that a lot of the people who make them kind of pump out sequel after sequel and they don't really care about quality, then yeah, games could potentially be like porn.
See, there's always some way to rationalize.
There's always some, that's right. So look, no, I like GameSpot. I love GameSpot. It's great.
Quick, what hero wears a yellow hat and a red tie? Okay, besides Dick Tracy. Well, the answer is Mr. Escape, a professional escapologist. Talk about living on the margins. Escape is the star of the new PSP puzzle game Exit. Created with a cool comic book look, your job is to rescue survivors from dire situations like fires in a burning building or removing Katie Holmes from Tom Cruise's mansion. Okay, we're joking about that last one. Each survivor has a unique ability, such as Strong Adult, who can push items in the 2D side-scrolling world. Your job is to find the survivors and put their unique abilities to use. It's very similar to the game Lemmings. I just wish the survivors were less annoying to be around. They constantly say things like, "Why me?" and "I really need a shower." Besides that minor gripe, Exit is a winner. It's an interesting, inventive, and striking puzzle game with over 100 levels that challenge your brain as well as your fingers.
I'm here with my buddy Nguy Kroll, who's General Editor of Technology at Newsweek. Here at DICE, Nguy, you having a good time?
Very much so, man. It's Vegas. It's sunny. It's hot. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's nice to be here with all these great game developers as well. Why do you come to DICE every year?
Well, not everyone can be this fortunate, right? But Reggie from Nintendo said some interesting things about, obviously, hyping the success of Nintendo with the DS.
Our greatest innovation will come later this year with the Nintendo Revolution. Content like game demos, game trailers, items for their particular games, maybe mini games, maybe sequelized content that you believe is relevant for this type of consumer.
But I definitely do think that publishers really need to start thinking about how they're going to widen the gaming audience as well as go deeper into the gaming audience that's already there.
Well, I know last week we had Reggie on the show. We went go-kart racing with him. We had a lot of fun. But he was very, very sure that, the DS is going to keep its lead on the PSP here in the U.S. He thinks, with Brain Age, a lot of these other games coming out, they're going to sort of dominate Sony. What do you think? What's going to happen there?
Look, Sony, after Grand Theft Auto, which I think sold about 700,000 units, they're going to need some more games of that caliber to kind of keep their lead. But, what Sony's doing now, they're bundling DVDs and UMDs, so you get 2 for almost the price of 2.
Right.
Things like that are also broadening the audience. It's like, you look at the success of the iPod, you can't think of portable entertainment as just games. So Sony's got some stuff up their sleeve on that front, but just like I said about PS3, Sony, show me more games.
Next on GameHead, Peter Moore and Shane Kim fill us in on what we can expect from the Xbox 360. We're also giving you a head start on the latest issue of Game Informer. A little later, I'll find out what industry insiders are saying about the PlayStation 3, and our Game of the Week delves into the dark side. Here's a GameHead advantage. Last week on GameHead, we showed you the next generation of video games with Fight Night Round 3 from EA, and this week we return to the ring with a little help from Burger King. Here's an exclusive look at 2 characters you won't find just hanging around the gym. First comes Ray, a stylish fighter with fists of steel, and he's backed by none other than the King. Not Don King, it's the Burger King. Want to get your hands on Ray and the King? Log on to SpikeTV.com for the secret access.
March 6th at 10, only on Spike.
Hey everybody, welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley. I'm here with Mr. Xbox, Peter Moore at DICE in Las Vegas. We meet again, Peter.
Yes,
right?
Indeed, and I love the weather, Jeff. This
right.
We can do the.
But Peter, it's looking a little like spring out here.
I was just, what's funny about that, Jeff, is as I was walking down to my house the other day thinking, looking at the flower beds and bulbs are cropping, I think, it's spring.
Yeah.
Isn't there something supposed to happen in spring?
I was going to say, wasn't there supposed to be a PlayStation 3 in spring?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what they keep saying, but, bulbs are coming out. Feels like spring to me.
So
anyway.
What's going on there?
You're asking me?
Yeah, come on, you got the intel, Peter. We know you got the spies over in Tokyo.
Here's my priority right now, Jeff, is we're starting to finally get in stock in 360s. Folks can hopefully soon go to retail, pick one up. That's our number one objective. We're focused on that and nothing else. So.
Well, let's talk about online. That's what I think a lot of people that bought their 360s love the online that you guys are doing with, Xbox Marketplace, downloading, high-def movie trailers, Mission Impossible, X-Men, all this, even the demos. Full Auto, Fight Night have been out there. I'm sure more to come. You think that's really becoming sort of one of, the key strengths, I think, of that platform? Because there's a lot of, rumors about Sony now. They're going to do, online, and, what are they going to do with that? Are you worried about that? Are you sort of expected it?
Well, we've been at this now for 4 years. And 4 years of investment, 4 years of expertise, 4 years talking to the consumers about what they want. And I think that what you see the experience now when you crank up your Xbox 360 is proof positive of all that experience.
So why don't you give us your gamer tag, Peter?
My gamer tag is Scouser02.
Scouser
Don't look
02.
for me because I'm so busy right now, but it's Scouser
Oh,
02.
you have people over, you know, you outsource that. You have guys over in
That would
India
be an
playing
idea,
us
yeah.
here, right?
Could I have a guy in Bangalore that would get my
Scouser
achievements
02.
up? Scouser 02. And that's because I'm from Liverpool. And the Liverpool
Is that to the number or TW?
02.
02. All right.
Here's your head start on the latest game industry chatter. The March issue of Game Informer has a cover story on BioShock for the Xbox 360 and PC, an open-ended first-person adventure game from Australia's Irrational Games. Set in and around an abandoned World War II genetics lab, you'll get to play in these amazing Art Deco-inspired environments in 2007. Car manufacturer Nissan has teamed up with Microsoft to create the first fully integrated gaming system within a vehicle. The Urge concept car allows drivers to play Project Gotham Racing 3 using the car's own steering wheel and pedals while the game appears on a flip-down LCD screen. Look at these 10 average Joes. Or more importantly, look at the big check from Electronic Arts that they're holding. No, they're not child laborers settling a class action lawsuit, but instead members of Team Legends, which won $250,000 in the Best of Battlefield 2 tournament.
I'm here in Las Vegas at the DICE convention with Shane Kim, who's the head of Microsoft's game studio. They're the guys that bring you, well, some small games like Halo, Gears of War that's coming out for the Xbox 360, and PC games too, right?
Age of Empires 3, fastest selling age game of all time.
Look at you, Shane. You know you're talking points. All right, well, let's talk a bit about 360. You had, a lot of, 3 big games at launch. Now everyone's saying, like, when's the next first-party game coming out? Why is there nothing right now?
Well, when we thought about what do we want to do from a portfolio standpoint, obviously one of the options that we had was to spread out our launch titles. We could have spaced them out and had them shipping in the first quarter or second quarter. With an idea, however, that we wanted to really focus on launch and making sure that there was a great launch portfolio.
Xbox Live Arcade's been a big hit. Are you going to develop new games for that as well?
Absolutely. We've got something like, I think, planned 30 titles.
Well, it's going to be a good year, right?
I think it's going to be a great year for us.
Excellent. All right, Shane. We'll see you E3, right?
Yeah, you bet.
Maybe that mythical Halo 3 will show up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coming up next on GameHead, we snipe exclusive footage of Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, and our Game of the Week goes to the dark side.
From the beginning, coming this March to Spike.
The winter drought of games may finally be over. Here's what's coming to stores this week. 24 the game goes real-time on the PS2, Black explodes onto the PS2 and Xbox, and MLB The Show hits for the fences on the PS2 and PSP.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. We're here in Las Vegas at the DICE convention, and now I'm with a guy from the biggest game company out there, Electronic Arts. Alan Yu. How are you, man?
Good, I'm good to see you.
So, Alan, this year's all about the next gen. We have Xbox 360 in the market, PS3, I guess coming soon, right?
I have no clue.
They said spring 2006, which we're almost in spring now. I haven't seen a PS3 yet.
Looks like spring to me. When I heard spring 2006, I think I literally laughed out loud.
Jeff, I'm not going to be able to substantiate any rumors.
Yeah, what do you think? You think we're going to see it this year, this spring?
I can't comment on that.
You were joking about you were going to announce the PS3 launch date and price.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't have anything. I don't have a thing at all.
When it's fall here, it's spring in Australia, so maybe that's a hint.
Kind of like sitting here without a PR rep from Sony, so I'm not saying anything.
You're trying hard, but I'm sorry. I can't divulge all those secrets.
In the year 2013, a new breed of soldier will be unleashed.
Cross count.
On.
Cover! Go! Send in the front! Affirmative. Patches en route. Target locked. What's that tank? Move! Where's my patch?
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
I'm with one of the biggest names out there, Andy Mack from Game Informer magazine, the biggest game magazine out there. Do you think it's going to be a good year for games, or?
Yeah, I think every year is a good year for games.
Oh, come on, that's such a PC answer.
No, I mean, seriously. I think, a lot of people expected a lot out of last year, coming off, like, Halo 2 and Grand Theft Auto the previous year.
God of War, Resident Evil, beginning of the year.
Yeah, exactly, and it started very, very hot, and it kind of cooled off towards the end, and I think a lot of that has to do with, the Xbox, they didn't get the development kits in people's hands, or at least the beta kits. The alpha kits are out there, but they didn't get the real hardware out to people in time to really kind of capitalize on this year.
This year will be the greatest year yet.
I think we can always. I mean, it's always growing, and I think that 2006 can certainly move us forward. But will there be the Halo 3 at the end of the year that's going to make everything better or even bigger? I don't know about that yet.
Sometimes ambitious games result in a bastion of mediocrity. The new real-time strategy game Star Wars Empire at War for the PC is hugely ambitious, but it really delivers a great experience with battles both on land and in space. Set before and during the events of Episode 4, you command either the Rebel Alliance or the Empire. In this game, you get your cached resources from planets that you control from a galactic map. The space combat with X-Wings and TIE Fighters looks great and is easy to control. And the land battles are great too, although the environments are a bit less impressive. But the hero units are pretty cool, like the Emperor, who can use Force Lightning, or R2-D2, who can be deployed to hack into enemy turrets. Some RTS fans will lament that the game is a bit more about brute force action than strategic base building, but Star Wars fans will find Empire at War grabbing their attention even stronger than Vader's Force grip.
Okay, that wraps it up for this week's GameHead. I hope you guys liked our behind-the-scenes look here at DICE. I think we got some pretty good scoop on what's coming to the gaming industry later in 2006 and beyond. Now, next week, make sure to come back for more GameHead with all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. And also, if you guys want to see extended cuts of my interviews with all the executives here at DICE, make sure to check out GameTrailers.com and also visit our show homepage at SpikeTV.com. I know the game. Do you? Tonight on GameHead, Video Games Meet Hollywood. I'm here at Electronic Arts Los Angeles to look at the new games they have in production, including Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2 on the Xbox 360, a brand new top-secret project they're working on with Steven Spielberg, and also we're going to give you the world-exclusive first glimpse at the trailer for Medal of Honor Airborne for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It's all coming up next on GameHead, plus all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews. Tonight on GameHead, we've got previews of Prey for the Xbox 360 and reviews of Rub Rabbits for the Nintendo DS and Arena Football for the PS2, Xbox, and PC. And the exclusive world premiere of the teaser trailer for Medal of Honor Airborne for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Hey everybody, and welcome to GameHead. I'm Jeff Keighley, and this week we're here in Los Angeles at the new home of Electronic Arts in Hollywood. And this is the head honcho, Neil Young. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good, Jeff.
So we're on the other Neil Young, right?
That's right.
How many times a day do you get that question?
You are the first person today.
First and hopefully the last.
That's
We're going to talk
right.
a lot about the video games you guys are doing here. Now, this is cool that EA's got this amazing new studio that you built here in Hollywood. It's expensive, though. I mean, there's a lot of competition here. What do you get here that you don't get at the other studios?
I think it's access to talent. I mean, there are more talented people in Los Angeles per square mile than anywhere else in the world, whether it's artists, animators, you especially, Jeff.
Thank you.
Artists,
Video game TV house. Lots of them down here.
there's a ton. Artists, animators, lighters, modelers, technical art directors, you know, tremendous craft talent, and then of course writers who are really starting to move the medium for us today, and then the opportunity to work with sort of big name talent, people like Steven Spielberg that we have a deal with. You know,
Your buddy,
constantly-
Steven, right? Who's got his office here, right?
He does, he has offices here, yeah.
What exactly is arena football? It turns out that the AFL is an emerging football league played on a 50-yard indoor field with hockey-style walls. Made by EA Tiburon, the same folks behind Madden, the gameplay definitely has a bit more of an edge to it than Madden. If you want to push a guy out of bounds, for instance, you have to push him over the wall and into the bleachers. But honestly, if you want a more violent football game, why not just play Blitz the League? And I guess that's my big problem with this game. I just can't understand why you'd play it instead of Madden or Blitz. The game is nowhere near as deep as Madden, although there is a season mode, and there are some shocking omissions like no color commentary. Overall, Arena Football might satisfy die-hard fans of the league, but otherwise, I'd throw this game out of bounds.
Just start filming? All right. All the great EA games. All right, so we've come here to the company. Oh, wait.
Yeah, look, take a free game. Here, Battle for Middle-earth.
Happens to be Battle for Middle-earth 2, I know, just came out for the PC. And you actually, I mean, your background is you actually worked with Peter Jackson, I know, on, some of my favorite movie games of the past couple of years. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, and Return of the King. So tell me a bit about your experience in sort of working with Hollywood.
Just like early filmmakers sort of borrowed from the mediums of theater or radio or or television, game makers, as our medium evolved, can borrow from those preceding mediums to try and make great entertainment.
Well, I think that's key that you borrow, because I know a lot of people sometimes say, well, these directors, it's great you have these big names. Do they really understand games? People criticize the King Kong game that Peter Jackson did because he wanted no on-screen interface. And people said that was tough. Or Steven Spielberg has done games in the past which haven't necessarily been game of the year. I mean, did the dig with LucasArts. Remember, so is there ever a worry that working with these directors that they're sort of too overpowering and that the games potentially suffer?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think in the case in the case of King Kong, I actually think the choice to not have an interface ended up being a pretty good choice. I think that really added something to kind of the sense of immersion into the game. And I think one of the things that you need to kind of go through when you're trying to find partners from the entertainment industry is try to find people who truly love this medium, the interactive medium, and sort of understand at a very basic level that the language of the narrative of our medium is different than the narrative of film.
Prey is a title you may recognize from way back in the 20th century. This first-person shooter was originally conceived and hyped up in the late 90s. Now, almost a decade later, it's nearing release on the Xbox 360 and PC. You play Tommy, a Cherokee Indian working as a mechanic on a reservation. Let's just say Tommy's life isn't really working out the way he'd hoped. And then it gets worse when Tommy is abducted to an alien mothership. And wouldn't you know, this isn't a friendly E.T. Close Encounters type of story. Instead, the aliens eat humans for food. The game's built on the high-tech Doom 3 engine, but it has some really cool gameplay twists. For one, you can walk on walls, flip gravity upside down, and even transport yourself through portals to quickly jump around the ship. Stay tuned for much more info on Prey, which comes out in June. Coming up next, the other Neil Young talks talent.
Is that the goal of the Spielberg project, is to get this sort of all-star cast of, Tom Hanks in a big video game?
And it's love at first sight when we review Rubbed Rabbits for the Nintendo DS. Here's a GameHead fact. The Medal of Honor series, including my favorite game, Allied Assault on the PC, has earned $379.5 million life to date.
Who's the next victim?
Only on Spike TV.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're here at EA Los Angeles. I'm here with Neil Young, the guy who runs this amazing facility that's doing a lot of big games. So what titles do you have coming out? What's the slate?
Well, we've got Command & Conquer: The First Decade, we've got Battle for Middle-earth 2, we've got Medal of Honor Airborne. And then in the future, obviously, we've got the partnership with Steven Spielberg.
That's right. So you're doing a game. I know that you got to deal with him for a couple of games. So you have one that's one that's already kind of in production now?
Yeah, absolutely. One that's going right now. And it's early in its life cycle. We're still kind of going through the process of assembling the team and designing the game. But we're excited.
Obviously a next-gen game, though, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very cool. So what do you talked before about how you sort of want to add more emotion to games? It sounds like Spielberg's into that. So what can players sort of expect from this game that you wouldn't find in a normal game because Steven is involved with it?
Well, I think the number one thing you'll see is us trying to build a relationship between the player and a character. I mean, I think that's going to be at the sort of the center of the gameplay.
You're saying that the player's in-game character or another character?
Another character.
I see. So you have a real relationship with that character.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing in the past the game industry has done a lot of is, hiring in, big-name actors to do, voiceover roles and have their likenesses in video games. You guys have done that with, guys like Sean Connery in your Bond game, things like that. Is that the goal of the Spielberg project, is to get this sort of all-star cast of, Tom Hanks in a big video game?
No, that's not the goal at all. If you think about film or television, the value there is clearly created by the director, the writers, and the actors. Yeah. In games, that value equation sort of shifts a little bit, and it's a lot more about the programmers and the designers, and that's that's really where we're trying to sort of partner with Stephen, is on the game design and exploring the narrative of our medium, so trying to move it forward in a really intelligent way.
Where do babies come from? Nah, I'm not about to give you a birds and the bees lecture, but instead review this Nintendo DS game that goes by that provocative name in Japan. Here in the US, the sequel to Feel the Magic is called The Rub Rabbits. It's a collection of touchscreen mini-games wrapped in a cute story about a boy trying to court a girl. There's also a nerdy girl who's hot for you and thus creates robots to prevent you from getting together with your crush. Such a twisted web you weave. As for the gameplay, the first level has you racing up an escalator to catch your squeeze, and later levels have you going all MacGyver on the competition. You throw snowballs at a mechanical bear and blow into a dart gun to kill off parachuting suitors. This is a fun pick-up-and-play title, but if you bought Feel the Magic, you may feel a strong sense of deja vu. Still, Rub Rabbits ultimately won my affections by a hair. Get it? H-A-R-E?
I'm with Lewis Castle, who's a guy who works now at EA as a VP, but I know him as the co-founder of Westwood Studios, the guys who basically invented the real-time strategy game with Dune 2 and all the Command & Conquer titles. And now, Lewis, you've got a brand new RTS, Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2. So how did it turn out? It just came out on the PC, right?
Well, I think it's a fantastic game, actually. I'm having a lot of fun.
Have to wait for our review, then.
Yeah, well, I still think it's a fantastic game.
Well,
whatever your review is.
Very cool. Now, you're also going to bring it out on the Xbox 360 this summer, which is pretty interesting that you're going to do a real-time strategy game on the consoles, because in the past, people sort of steered clear of doing that, right?
Yeah, well, actually, we've done a few in the past, but we've always looked at it as
mixed results.
Well, sure. Well, we've always looked at it as an opportunity to try to take something and just get it onto another platform. We didn't do that this time. We started right from the ground up and rebuilt the product from the point of view of what if we were going to make this game for a console to begin with. And that really made all the difference in the world. You know, the testing that we're doing right now is coming out fantastic. And
so the problem was always sort of, you know, with a strategy game, it's sort of a mouse and keyboard is what they're designed for on the PC, and then when you move to a controller on a console, it's sometimes really hard to be able to sort of select a whole bunch of units at the same time and that kind of thing, right?
I think you hit it right on the head. The problem is that most people thought of it as, how do I make a mouse on a console, which is not the goal. Really what it is how do I get this game about controlling lots and lots of units, like the battles I saw in the films, how do I do that on a console? That's a very different question. So we went about it very different, and that's why the result is so different.
Coming up next, I find out how Madden is saving the music industry.
When Green Day was recording American Idiot, before they even recorded Note 1, we drove over to Hollywood and, you know, they sat down and said, this is what it's going to sound like. Right. You know, when do we need to finish it by to get it into Madden?
And still to come, the exclusive world premiere of the teaser trailer for Medal of Honor Airborne. And bullets fly in our Game of the Week. Duck! Here's a GameHead advantage for Ape Escape 3. On the title screen, press L1, R1, L2, R2, select and start all at the same time, then enter 2 snakes. You've just unlocked a primate parody.
I'm Snake. You can call me that from now on. And you? Key. Interesting. A pair of snakes. Nice to meet you, Snake.
Only on Spike.
Hey, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're talking about games and Hollywood converging at EA LA, and Neil Young is telling us all about this amazing facility you've got here at EA that's working on a lot of big games. I think the most high-profile one coming out this year, obviously, is Medal of Honor Airborne. That's coming out for PS3, Xbox 360. Yeah. So we're, you know, Medal of Honor is a series I think Steven Spielberg obviously birthed that, you know, DreamWorks, and you guys, you know, Allied Assault I think was one of my favorite World War II games in the past couple of years. Then the series kind of, you know, went off the tracks a little bit, I think, with, you know, Rising Sun on the console, not a great game. You guys are sort of trying to bring it back now after, you know, sort of Call of Duty. I think it's stolen a little bit of its thunder, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly I think Rising Sun kind of critically was not where we wanted it to be. I think commercially it certainly, you know, sold a lot of copies, and, you know, a lot of people got to appreciate it that way. I think that category, if you think about the category of World War II shooters, you've been basically playing the same game since Allied Assault, you know, with just different storylines. You know, guys pop up from behind crates and you go, boom, headshot. I think what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to deliver upon the authenticity of the experience. You know, certainly in Airborne, that's really at the heart of the experience. I mean, really the first first step is everything.
So you're working on Medal of Honor, another franchise here that everyone loves is Command and Conquer. You know, the Westwood Studios guys are here. They've been working on these Lord of the Rings games for a while. I think everyone wants to know, though, when, you know, are we going to see another Command and Conquer RTS? Is Red Alert finally going to come back?
Well, I think, you know, one of my objectives coming down here to Los Angeles is to get all the franchises sort of off the bench that made this studio and these studios great in the first place. And, you know, so whether that's Medal of Honor or Lord of the Rings or Command and Conquer, I mean, I think we want to be building great games in all of those. You know,
taking it off the bench then?
Get it off the bench.
All right, well, that's exciting. Hopefully we'll have news soon. Right? Here's your head start on the latest game industry chatter. Famed comic book artist Jim Lee has been tapped as executive creative director for the massively multiplayer game based on the DC Comics universe, due out in 2008 from Sony Online Entertainment. Lee, who recently collaborated with Frank Miller on the comic series All-Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder, says that the game's art will match his signature dynamic style. Do people make fun of your voice or your accent when you play games online? Or are you a female gamer who's jonesing to be a little trans-America when you play Counter-Strike? If so, check out the MorphVox voice-changing software from Screaming Bee. You simply install the software and start sounding like the man you almost are. And finally, old-school gamers will get a kick out of these photos from Flickr of old Nintendo games like Excite Bike and Duck Hunt recreated using Legos. For more industry news, check back next week for another edition of Head Start. I'm hanging out with Steve Schnurr, who's the worldwide executive for music at EA. He's responsible for every note you hear in every EA game out there.
It's a scary title, isn't it?
I know, but there have been some pretty good notes lately in EA games. You've been doing a great job with, you know, the soundtracks you do for, you know, Madden Football, the Burnout, to, you know, some of the orchestral scores you do. I love the new score in Black, which is fantastic.
Michael Giacchino.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So today we're sort of talking a lot about, you know, the intersection of Hollywood and games. What drew you out of the music business into the games business?
We have access here that we could never have anywhere else. When Green Day was recording American Idiot, before they even recorded Note 1, we drove over to Hollywood and, you know, they sat down and said, this is what it's going to sound like. Right. You know, when do we need to finish it by to get it into Madden? And that could only happen here.
Well, but how do you stay so young and hip then, Steve? I mean, what does it take? You got a good staff of people around you?
You always surround yourself with people who know more than you do. Right. You know, you make sure you never, ever, ever think like an adult. You always have to think like a 14-year-old. And anytime a 40 or a 35-year-old producer of a game comes up to you and says, I love that song, then it doesn't go in the game. Those are the key.
Still to come on GameHead, it's your first ever look at footage from Medal of Honor Airborne for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and our Game of the Week takes down the house. Here's a GameHead fact. EA's video games based on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy have earned the company a total of $304.7 million in the U.S.
At these locations.
Here's what's releasing next week in stores. Pursuit Force for the PSP, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for the Xbox and the 360, and my personal favorite, Burnout Revenge, makes it to the 360 as well. Hey, welcome back to GameHead. This week we're here at EA Los Angeles, and I'm with Patrick Gilmore, who's the executive producer of, well, maybe Medal of Honor Airborne, I guess?
Yes.
Is that a good guess?
That's right. You know, the whole vision for this has been reinventing Medal of Honor for the next generation.
Which needed a little bit of reinvention.
Yeah, well, it does need a little bit of reinvention. I mean, I think, you know, Medal of Honor, ever since the Allied assault days, the frontline days when we first did Storming the Beaches at Normandy, and we delivered this epic moment of World War II, I think just as a team and as a franchise, we kind of developed an addiction to those great big moments of World War II. So much so that I think the franchise lost a little bit of focus on the personal experience of the soldiers who had unbelievable experiences against these huge backdrops.
The real story.
So Airborne's about getting back to that.
So you'll actually be deciding sort of from 2,000 feet, you know, do you go left over here, or do you hide behind this building and try to make a move?
We have people playing it right now. As they're falling, they're going, crap, I missed that tower, or I want to try to land on these rooftops, or if I can crash through that window, then I can get the drop on the Nazis that I know are inside. So all of those opportunities, the entire space is playable. So that vision of kind of artificial walls that guide you through the environment, that's all erased. You're jumping into a battlefield.
Well, Patrick, the game sounds exciting. We can't wait to play it, and we're going to play it, I guess, when? Later this year?
Later this year.
Later this year. Exciting. Well, you know, you've also hooked us up with something very cool, which is the world premiere of the teaser trailer for Medal of Honor Airborne. You're not going to see this anywhere else, but right here on GameHead. Let's take a look at that now.
what's cool here is that Steven Spielberg's walking around working on this other unannounced project, which I wasn't very successful in getting information from Neil about that.
Where we're at right now is not answering that question.
The main thing is you're getting to a point now where these games are getting so realistic. I'm sure at some point you have to grapple with sort of, how do you reflect the, the violence of war? And so when you look at Saving Private Ryan and how gritty it was, I mean, now you're going to be able to get to that point, and probably with PlayStation 3, I mean, and Xbox 360, where you can sort of really depict it.
So it was interesting, there was a wake-up call for us, because as we're doing our performance tests with this new character work, we actually did a sequence where a guy died. He got shot. And there was no blood in it. There was no effects in it whatsoever. It was purely based on the character's performance. And we showed it to several people, and people thought, well, this is just too violent.
So you dial back the performance a little bit, and there's that sort of middle ground, I guess, where it still feels like a game, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be an intense one, I guess.
Yes, it is. Very.
Cool. Okay, we've looked at a lot of the games that EA LA has coming out in the future, but now let's check out a game you can play this week. It's our Game of the Week. Criterion Games, the guys who created the Burnout Racing franchise, bring their pyrotechnic Hollywood style of gameplay to first-person shooters with Black for the